Hey, what is up, everyone? Welcome to Do Deals with Me Live. Happy Monday, by the way. And you're seeing a new face. Actually, Brooke's not here with us, but we have Alice. Brooke is actually sick. But Alice, you want to introduce yourself? I mean, there's probably a few viewers that know who you are. So,
Sure. So my name is Alice. Hopefully we've met before. I am one of the Clever Investor mentors and have been here since 2016.
And why?
So excited to go live with you today.
Let's go. We're excited too. We have a lot in store for today. Just like last week, obviously, you guys know the flow or starting to pick up the flow here. Alice is going to help with, analyzing deals, doing comps, and making sure that we're staying within our numbers, just like Brooke also. Plus, she has a lot of insight too. I mean, you've been doing this for how long? How long you been doing this for again?
First wholesale deal was 2007.
So a lot of experience here on the table, right? And so we're super excited. Now, just like I always say when we first get started is that, we don't charge for this. We don't make you jump through hoops and loops and make you register for all the, through links. However, is that the only thing that we ask, listen, if you're jumping on right now, is share this with someone, share this with one person that, that should be on the show, that should be here learning and shouldn't, and not just learning, but also asking questions, right? And so we want to make sure that you are sharing this because we have a lot of stuff in store today. Like I said, Alice, she brings a lot of insight. She's going to give us a lot of feedback on things and a lot of experience as well, too. So super excited. And again, last week we went 3 days, very productive. I think, the productivity, that we had was really good overall. And think about that, right? Like where most people fail, and I always say this, Alice, is that it's the part of not taking action. Yeah. Right. So even though we're on here for 4 hours, we're not really dialing all 4 hours, right? Like we're working, but we're so focused that it looks like we're consistently dialing, we're analyzing the deals, and we're getting the results, right? We're getting the results that we're looking for. And so that's what you see that a lot too, with a lot of people where they struggle as far as like, how do I make my first deal, or how do I get my first deal? I think the correlation is like, take action, right?
Take action. Yeah. Consistently, and know that sometimes it may take a few more phone calls than you anticipated.
Yeah. And I'm glad you brought that up. We had that challenge on Friday. We had, a lot of people weren't picking up, and we basically, we kept pushing. We were getting ready to shut it down, which was weird. It was crazy because we were about 3 hours and 50 minutes in. And so we were going to close it at the 4-minute mark. So we just pushed through. We kept dialing. Brooke got a call back, and it was, she answered the call in the live, and it happened to turn into an agreement. So it got signed. So again, you got to continue, be persistent, not only consistent, but you have to be persistent. So, dollars and cents, what's going on? Good afternoon, man. You must be in the East Coast, I'm assuming. Bryant, what's up? Good morning. Let's go. Drake, thank you for joining us. I appreciate you all the way from Bakersfield. Let's go. Precious is in the house. Roxy's in the house. Richard, what's going on? Richard's been here early, by the way. So, and then we got a few of you jumping on. But yeah, super excited today. Obviously, it's Monday, and I'm glad to see familiar faces in here. Hopefully, you guys are taking action while you're watching as well, too. Remember, we are also we want to work with you. So what we want to start doing is having you come in, send us the deals. Go to sendusthedeals.com. So if you want us to call your leads live, or you want to tell them what else you do as well, Alice, with people that submit deals under contract. I was going to make you talk on the show, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you are sending deals that you already have under contract,
yep,
I will go through and double check the numbers and see if we've got some comps, and reach back out to you and say, yep, this looks like what we can do.
Exactly. So it doesn't necessarily just have to be a lead. I mean, it could be a property that you have under contract. Potentially, you don't have this huge buyers list, right? You don't have this huge buyer relationship. So we do. We have a system that inside the system has over 4.5 million contacts that we can reach out to on any given day. They will look at the deal. They'll give us feedback. So if you do want us to call your leads live, or you want us to, help you move a deal, go to sendusthedeals.com, sendusthedeals.com. The only difference is that it's one's going to ask you, is it under contract? And if you click no, it's obviously going to come in as a lead. If you click yes, it's going to require you to submit, a few items that we need in order for Alice to really push it out to, our buyers and our buyer data. So we have to make sure that, you're submitting all the information. So we have the highest, the highest possibility to move that deal, because if we're missing info, then we got to call you back and we got to start, we can't move it as fast as possible. So make sure that you watch there's a video there, as a matter of fact, that you can watch, and gives you all the all the instructions on how to go about that, and how to submit the deal. So cool. We got 18 of you. Remember, for those of you that just hopping on, make sure that you are sharing the stream, share this live with someone, share it with one person. That's it. You just got to share it with one person. That's all we ask, is that you share it with one person, so that way they can join us and they can, be with us on the stream. So cool. Well, I'm excited to get started. We're going to go through and talk a little bit about last week's production, right? I'm going to show you the scorecard. We're going to show you the recon sheet. And we're going to talk about some surprises that we've had. We had a few interesting phone calls last week. The first day we actually had Christine. We had this seller out of North Carolina who agreed to go with us, right? Like, she agreed to go with our offer. She agreed to accept it. And then when it came time to sign the agreement, she got cold feet. And so I don't know if you had a chance to watch that part. So we ended up calling her to walk her through the agreement, because we wanted to walk her through the agreement on the live show. And then she started talking, making all these excuses. So I called her out on it. She didn't really like it. And so what happens is she actually called back in, I think it was yesterday late. So what I'm going to do is, that's probably going to be our first call on the show. So seeing if we can get her to move forward with the offer. So I'm going to share my screen now, so we can go through the actual what is it called, recon sheet. So just bear with me here. Let's see. Okay, got to get rid of that. All right, here we go. Let's see. All right, here we go. By the way, who's taking action on any of the items that as I'm pulling this stuff up, who's taking action? Who went out and took action this weekend? Drop a 1 in the comment in the chat if you went out and took action, potentially make some calls. Maybe you went out and did some driving for dollars. We talked about a lot of different stuff. So put a 1 in the chat. Those 19 of you that are on here right now, if you took what we talked about last week, the last 3 days, and you went out and you took action, and that way, we can see you guys are actually not just sitting here watching, but you're actually taking action. I know there's a few of you already on here, so there we go, perfect. We start seeing those 1s. Keep putting those 1s in. I'm going to pull up the recon sheet. Okay, let's see. There we go. All right. All right, perfect. I'm going to go through first. It says yesterday's evaluation, but obviously it's for Friday. Appreciate the 1s. Thank you, Drake. Thank you, Dollars and Cents. Appreciate it. Appreciate you for, letting us know you're out there taking action. Perfect. Here's another 1. I love it. Keep them coming, guys. I want to see those 1s drop in the chat. That means you are taking action. Cardi says, missed last week, but I'm here today. Yeah. Awesome. Great. I love it. And so once you get a chance, make sure you go back and try to catch up, because we covered a lot of stuff. Obviously, we're going to cover a lot of things today, but make sure that you are catching up with the rest of the other days that we were on here live as well too. So, okay, so last week, so we rated our day. So what do we rate our previous day, which would be Friday? Again, this was Friday. So I rated it a 9. Now, why? Because we had great conversations. We stuck to the sales process, and Brooke got a contract signed. So how much better in the week, the last day, the week on a contract. So she got that call in. She ended up getting it signed. So why not give it a 9, right? Obviously we can always improve, but when you have a moment to really, give what is it called? Give yourself, an encouragement. You got to do it, right? The small wins. It's those small wins that continue to keep pushing you. So, did we hit our targets? We did not hit all our targets. We had a short week. Obviously the goal this week is to hit the targets, since we have a full week this week. That is the goal. We didn't hit all our targets. You guys are going to get to see the scorecard, because short week. We were only on here for 3 days. It would be impossible. We hit a few of them, but not all of them. And then lessons learned last week. So what were some of the lessons learned? So don't give up. Keep pushing through until the last minute, right? We talked about wanting to end the show late, early, because we weren't getting people picking up. So I ended up it was crazy how it worked out. I wasn't getting any answers, and then this lady answered. The property, I think, was in Washington. I believe it was a condo in Washington, but she didn't want to sell. She was it got a little bit not heated, but she was like calling me out and saying that I'm pushing her to something and this and that. And I'm like, how did I push you to something if you said yes to the conversation? So nothing ended up happening. But that's, as soon as I hung up, the Brooke got the call. So remember, you can't give up. You got to push through until the last minute. And here's a good example of that. So if you are setting yourself up to where you're doing a prospecting, for let's say today you told yourself, this week, 3 days a week, I'm gonna prospect, and I'm gonna call from 2 to 4, whatever that is. Make sure that you're from 2 to 4, you're giving it your best, right? Don't start, a little late. Don't end it a little early. From 2 to 4, you're going to give it your best. And the way you're going to do that is by filling out this recon sheet, right? The way you're going to do that is by making sure that you have your goal set. I think it's very important to understand that, because that's what's going to drive your attitude to be able to go after, what you need to do and deliver your strategies and tactics. And so too many people give up too early, right?
I agree.
Yeah, way too early. And so that was amazing to see. It was really good. Obviously, having to see that at the very end. So even us, we still get amazed, right? Like, even though we've done so many deals, it's always good to see that your hard work is actually pushing through and basically going through. So I don't know what happened to this one. Interesting. All right, so let's go with our affirmations. I'm always ready for the opportunity because of my preparation. Very important to understand that. Always got to be prepared, right? I am the best at what I do because I believe in my skills. Very, very important to understand that. Like, listen to these I ams, because they're not just like rah, right? Like, we're backing it up. I said, I'm always ready for the opportunity because of what? My preparation. Number one, you got to be prepared for the opportunity. Sometimes we don't think opportunity comes. We see them as potential obstacles. And what tends to happen is that, we don't walk through that door because it looks like a problem, right? Same thing with, I am the best at what I do because, I believe in my skills. Working on your skills. And for those of you that are on here right now, that's literally what you're doing. For those of you that are watching us, for those of you that are participating with us, I would consider that working on your skills, right? Working on yourself, working on the things that you need to be prepared for. And I don't know what happened to the third one, but I'll just say it to you guys. I am always ready because prepare, right? That's the thing that you have to remember. Today, it's all about preparation and execution. Kenyon says, even though I was nervous watching these lives, is definitely helping. I actually submitted one this week. And okay, well, that's what we're going to look at first. Let's go. I appreciate you for submitting that lead. Remember, if you guys want to submit a lead, make sure you go to sendusthedeals.com. You can see the website there on the bottom, sendusthedeals.com. So that way we can take a look at it. So, all right, let's keep it moving. Today's plan is, what is it? Giving sellers an opportunity for a fresh start. How? By providing solutions that solve their problem, right? That's what we want. And us, using our skills and our problem solving abilities, right? Again, all about preparation, skills. Do you have to know everything when you first start, Alice?
Sometimes it feels like you do. But that's the good thing about having a clever investor and a mentorship behind you.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So do deals with me, right? I think that's what we're kind of referring to is, and here's the website too. So if you want to be part of a community where Alice can coach you, she has a lot of experience. I consider her very experienced, knowledgeable. She helps display our deals. So if you are looking for a community that can guide you, that can show you, that can, hold your hand and go through the process, go to dodealswithme.com, and you're going to get, potentially to work with Alice. Right. And so, but again, the question is like, sometimes it does feel like that, like you need to know everything, right? Sometimes like I need to have all the information. I need to have all the information before I go out and take action. I'm okay with learning. I've always said always be learning. I have this rule ABL, and instead of always be closing, always be learning. But also you have to make sure that you're out there taking action. And the reason I say this is because you can never get better with the information alone. You have to know what you need to improve upon, right? And where am I messing up at? Am I messing up in my introduction when I'm talking to sellers? Am I messing up in my pitch? Am I messing up in the discovery phase? Am I messing up in when I make an offer? If you're not taking action and you're just ingesting information, and you're not doing any output, you're not going to get better, because you're never going to know where you need to improve, where you're making the mistakes. Because listen, you might not make mistakes everywhere. There might be just little things that are keeping you from actually passing through the other side, but you won't know that until you go out there and take action on that information. What do they call that analysis? When someone just has too much information, or they just get too much information? What is it?
Just overanalyzing.
Analysis paralysis. That's what I. So don't get caught up in that. Go out and take action. Mess it up. You are gonna mess it up regardless. I still mess it up. Even though after all these years doing this and doing deals and negotiating and being on calls and everything, I still mess it up. So now the next thing is that I'm going to talk about is, what's your standard, right? Follow the script and the process. Be consistent in my action and making calls. That's where you have to be, right? You got to make sure that you don't ever deviate from the standard, which is your process. So, and then the last thing is, what are our targets for the day? We want to hit, 5 contacts, right? We want to talk to 5 people. We want to generate 3 prospects, and then we want to have 5 conversations and make 5 offers. I mean, that's really what it is. And our goal today is 2 contracts. That's what we're looking for. And we want to book 3 appointments. So we have those goals. Precious says that's guilty of that too. Analysis paralysis is the worst, yet I'm working through it. So the best thing to work through that is to actually just take action. Take action on the little bit of information that If you're part of, Do Deals With Me, you're part of the Clever Coaching, and you got, Alice that's coaching you. She's going to help you to be able to break through and go through that. Anything else you want to add to that, Alice?
No, nothing particular.
Okay.
I think that when people see 5 conversations, that doesn't sound like very many.
It doesn't. Yeah. But it is.
It is.
Yeah, it's a lot. So and so most people would say, well, what do you consider a conversation, right? And I spoke about this last week with Brooke. And so for me, a conversation, if someone says hello and we say, hey, I was calling because, you had filled out the form on our website, and then they're like, yeah, what's your offer? Or what so, I'm not interested in selling. That's not a conversation. That's more of just a context. Somebody picked up and said hello. For me, a conversation is if I ask, hey, calling because you filled out the form online, so if you consider selling that property, like, yeah, I still am. Okay, perfect. And then if I can find out, like, why they're considering selling and what's their timeline look like, that's what I consider a conversation. Someone that if I can hit, 2 of those 4 pillars, that we call the pillars, I would consider that a conversation, and I would put it into, I would count it as a conversation. So if I can figure out if Alice is selling property because she's got to relocate and she's got to do it in the next 60 days, I believe that's a conversation for me. Not, hello, no, I'm not interested. Or hello, well, what's your offer? Tell me your offer. And that's it. Like, yeah. And how many people do that? A lot. This is why I'm glad you brought that up, because, even though 5 conversations doesn't seem like a lot, it really is, right? When you think about it in the scheme of things, as far as the way we see a conversation, right? I don't consider everything a conversation. I consider everything a contact when somebody picks up, but that's it. Let's see. That is my goal, to be a part of the Clever Investor mentoring team. Awesome, Precious. I love that. Let's go. Yep. Let's go. Lalo said, what does the Deal Finder software typically help us with besides training? You know, the deal. What is that? The deal finder. Which one is that?
We're speaking about deal automator.
Hey, Lalo, can you clarify the software? Is it the deal automator or is it the deal finder software? Because that might be a little bit different. So let's see, Nancy. Hey, good morning, Nancy. Nancy is she's on here every day too as well. She participates. I love that she's on here with us. When the seller hits the auction stage, does that mean they stop being direct to seller? So if it's no, not necessarily. Oh, sorry. If it sells in auction, yes. I mean, somebody's going to buy that property, and that's not. Yeah, the seller. That's gonna. You're not gonna. It's not worth going after that property anymore because whoever bought it at auction, they bought it for a reason of either rehabbing it or keeping it as a rental.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this, Alice, because you might. I know I can answer this, but I want to have them hear from you. So what if it's in foreclosure? It's going to auction. What do you think about that?
Yeah. So that's a good question you have. And a lot of people have this question. So if you've got a property that is scheduled for auction, we are still able to work with the seller as long as it has not been auctioned on the courthouse steps and it's already back in the bank's hand or somebody else's. Yep. We can still work with it, even if it's just a couple of days. Exactly.
You can all the way. I mean, literally, I've seen properties save the day of the auction, right?
Me too.
Yeah. So you just have to be a little more experienced and savvy at that point. Because if you don't know what you're doing and you're telling the seller like, "Hey, I'll save your property," then you have to be careful with that. So
that's a good one for send us the leads.
Exactly. Yeah, you can do that. Go to sendusthedeals.com where you can submit the lead if you do have something in that situation. Lalo said both. So the deal automator and the deal finder software. Does that help him with what was his original question? Let me go back up. Okay. What does the deal finder software typically help us with? And the deal automator?
The deal automator allows you to organize all of your contacts and to notate your follow-up. You're also able to pull lists. So if you want vacant properties that were absentee owner, you can pull those. You can pull high equity, pre-foreclosure. If you're doing fix and flips, it has a really nice repair estimator and the ability to build out a scope of work. So lots of things if you're wholesaling, some different items if you're actually flipping, and pretty much holds everything you need to make your real estate business move forward.
Yep.
And stay organized.
And stay organized.
The hardest part.
It is the hardest part. I have that problem even now. That's why Brooke's here helping. That's why, you guys are assisting with, comps and things like that. So William said, just getting in line with you. Can I find that form you just showed somewhere? This form is actually going out to, you can actually just, here's what I'll say, because if you're part of the due deals with me, you should have got an email with the form. I submitted it. However, what I would say is that you can rewind the video and basically write that. I'm showing it to you. So if I was you, I would create your own based around the actual subjects and the questions that we have on there for now. Nancy said, I am concerned my lead I sent in is no longer direct to seller. We will find out. They never picked up, Nancy. We called them, as soon as you submitted it, we basically called them. I think we called them about 5 times, I believe it was, Nancy, and they never answered. The seller never answered.
Nancy, are you saying that you think it was a JV partner that had given you the deal?
No, I think it was her lead. It was a lead that she submitted, and it was scheduled for auction. And we'll pull it up and see if it went to auction or not.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. All right, let's see here. Says no, she called us, so that's what she's saying.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, all right, cool. Mike, can we submit commercial parts? You can, but honestly, we're focusing more on residential right now. If you do submit it, maybe not something we're going to call live on the show, but it depends. I mean, submit it and we'll take a look at it and we'll let you know for sure. but we're dealing a lot with residential on here because that's kind of what the show is geared towards. But definitely, if you have an opportunity, that doesn't mean, we can't look at it for sure, but not to call live on the show.
Yeah, I'm happy to call that one for you.
Yep. Cool. William says, thanks for the info. All right. So let's go ahead and pull up the scorecard now. Let's see. All right. Oh. All right, so there's our scorecard. As you guys can see here, so the dials for Friday were 74. So we did hit our dials in 3 days. Like we hit our dials, so 74 dials. We had 4 conversations. You see how hard it is, right? We hit Wednesday, we had 4. Friday or Thursday, we had 5. And then Friday we had 4, right? So we had total of 13 conversations. And so in the way we were going, we probably would have hit our goals if we had another 2 days. This is Saturday, what you're seeing here. We had we generate total of 4. So I'm actually going to do the week total. So 13 conversations in 3 days. We had 4 hours of talk time, which is a lot, by the way. 4 hours of talk time is a lot. Yeah. These are people that picked up, said hello. We spent a little bit of time with them, right? Whether we hung up in 2 minutes or an hour, it didn't matter. Like this is the total of talk time. We generated 4 prospects, which means they're either in follow-up. So that's good, right? In 3 days, we were able to generate 4 leads that they either, that we either put in follow-up or we're going to, follow up with them in regards to an agreement. We booked 5 appointments. Now the appointments completed is on the low end because we just started, right? We're building our pipeline. Right. So we just started on that. We were a little low on the offers because again, based on the conversations, I shared this with our viewers last week that not everyone gets an offer, right? Only individuals that we know that show an interest in, for the most part. We don't want to give a blind offer to everyone. Obviously, we want to give an offer to everyone we speak with and have a conversation with. We do want to give an offer to all those individuals. But if someone's on the phone, they're like, well, what's your offer, right? Or, they don't want to answer questions. We definitely don't want to give those individuals an offer, because are they really looking to do business with us if they start off the gate that way, right? If they don't want to be engaged, or they don't want to engage or be cooperative, like that's going to be tough. And then we send out 2 contracts and got 1 signed. Yay, Brooke. Brooke saved the day. And we're looking to get the other. That doesn't mean that the second one, that the first one we send out, that doesn't mean that that's actually dead. We're still following up with it. That just means that it didn't get signed, right? That just means that when we set up the appointment to go through the agreement with them, they obviously, they had pushback. As a matter of fact, that's going to be our first call today because there's Brooke right there. Let's go. That matter of fact, we're going to call her first because she ended up calling yesterday. So maybe she had a change of heart. Yeah. Let's go. People do. You know what I mean? Like people go out there and they're like, and I said this last week, just because people say no to your offer right now doesn't mean that they can't come back, right? That's why you can't give up on it. They go out and they might get beat up, or potentially, they're like, you know what? That was a great offer. I built really great rapport. And that's the other part too, though, Alice, that I always tell individuals, like, stand out. Don't sound like everyone else. Have them remember you, right? Have them remember you. Like, stand out from the crowd. Don't sound like every other, my sales trainer used to call them Horace. He's like, don't be like Horace. Like, you got to be different than Horace, right? I don't know where he came up with that. That's the way he said it. Do you know what that means? No. Okay. Maybe I shouldn't be saying that. But anyways, that's what he said. And so I went with that. And so I learned that I need to stand out. So why? Because of this, right? We always got to make sure when the sellers talk to someone else and they're not building rapport like you, and they're not, you know what I mean? They're not sounding like you. They're not, positioning, really asking great questions like you, the seller can say, man, you sound worse. You sound really bad. That's, Max was asking great questions. You're asking dumb questions, right? So that's where you got to set yourself apart. So to make sure that they remember you. So again, just because that one didn't get signed doesn't mean we're not on a follow-up. So, but that's it. That's the scorecard there, black and white. We talked about this yesterday. These are not, again, these are real numbers. You're seeing them live. This is what it takes. This is what you're going to have to do every single day and day out. Eventually, until you scale or until you get, some help, you have to do this. You can't, there's no one else coming to, to rescue you. This is not, Brooke kept laughing last week because I was saying, these are not your guru numbers. These are
real
not
numbers.
Exactly. This is not Instagram. This is actual real numbers, real work that we are doing on here. So, all right, we got a few questions here. Let's see. Lalo said, okay, so depending on the list you want it, help us pull the list. You need like a lead generator pretty much. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Jolene said, is a scorecard on the website now? Do we know if it's, I don't think I've submitted the scorecard yet, but Jolene, we are working on that for sure. So just have patience with us. Obviously, we just started this thing and we just ran with it. You know what I'm saying? So I really appreciate that. So thanks. Is there an avenue to pursue with commercial? Mike, let me ask you a question. How many deals have you done your first deal yet, Mike? I'd love to find that out and see if you've done your first deal to see kind of steer you where you're trying to head with this. Is commercial your goal, or you're just going after commercial because you're hearing some people that's where to go? I'm just trying to get an idea, right? Because a lot of people maybe need a little bit of direction as far as like where you need to go. So I'm curious to know, Mike, if you've done your first deal yet. Jolene's giving Brooke a shout out. Let's go. Brooke says, yay. And Lalo says, so the deal automator is a lead generator, or am I mistaken? It's a lead generator, right?
It's going to give you a list, but it's not a pay-per-lead program.
No, it doesn't call the list for you, if that's what you're asking. If it's going to, it'll generate leads, and then it'll skip trace the leads for you to call or text, correct?
Or you can direct mail through it.
Or you can direct mail through it, correct. Mm-hmm. Yep. And then you got to have, you got to have somewhere where the leads can call you back, or else you're not going to be able to, obviously get in contact with them. So, yep. Mike said no. Yeah, great. So thanks, Mike. I appreciate you for being transparent. Yeah. So again, this is what I wanted to ask, because maybe what I would do is, and I don't know if you're part of the coaching program or not, but if you've never done a commercial deal, I would recommend starting with doing your first residential deal. It's going to be a lot easier for you. Look, I know I know most people think that is very competitive, but honestly, if they're going to be, if you're trying to get your first deal, that's probably going to be the easiest, because how are you going to identify what's a commercial deal if you haven't done a residential deal? How do you know what is a deal anyways, right? Like, how do you know that? So this is why I always recommend, you're going to get more help through to the residential side. You can gradually move into that. Not saying that there are no commercial deals, there definitely are, but I would recommend starting there for sure. Abel says, where can we find the link to the recon sheet? I think we kind of mentioned that already, Abel, earlier. That's getting emailed out as well. Mike said, there are many commercial opportunities in Miami market. I know that. I get that. But you don't want to be caught chasing rabbits, or chasing two rabbits, right? You don't want to get caught chasing, what I call a pipeline deal, just because it's going to make you X amount of money. Listen, if you want to go that route, that's up to you. I'm just giving you advice here. I've seen this so many times. I had people like, Max, I got a deal. Okay, great. What's the deal? It's a 100 unit apartment complex. Okay, got it. Okay, and tell me about it. Well, I just found it. And I'm like, have you talked to the owners? And they're like, no. Well, no, because you can't. It's 100 doors. So you're not going to be able to skip trace them. You're not going to be able to find them. You're not going to get direct to the owners. These are, they're going to be under corporations, LLCs. And I'm not saying that you can't get a hold of, what's it called? Somebody that owns a small commercial building that might own it individually, but the idea is to give you more at bats by really going direct to the seller. So Mike says, got it. Perfect. All right. Cool. So a lot of questions answered. We went through the recon sheet. We went through the scorecard. What else do we have? Let me see. I think that's it for the most part. Let me unlock my iPad. Where is the? Oh, there's the list right there. I probably should send you this list as well. Let me see here. I'm going to send you a list that I got because we're calling off a list too, so that way you have the addresses.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay, let me look here. All right, let's see. Okay. Hmm. All right, I found it now. I'm gonna go into investor fuse because there is a. Oh, what is going on here? Okay, there it is. So share it with you. Oops. So I'm going to share the spreadsheet with you, and then I'm going to go into investor fuse to see what leads we have in here. So there it goes. There we go. All right. So we're pulling up the data, everyone. So just bear with us here. We're going to start making some calls here. Okay, let's see. All right, let me connect to this. All right, here we go. You have access on Investor Fuse, right, to all the opportunities?
I do not.
Okay.
That's what Brooke and I were talking about this weekend.
Oh, okay, got it. Let me change that real quick. That is interesting. Let's see. Oh, I see what happened. Okay, let's see if you can refresh it. So everyone, we're pulling up the leads right now that we're going to call, so that way we can start dialing. Let's see here. Yeah, you should now. I just changed the access, so you should have. You might have to refresh it or
Okay.
sign out. There it goes. Okay, perfect.
Yep, I see him.
All right. The one I want to call is Christine. Let's see here. All right. So her name is Christine. She's on Southwest 168. So, yep. All right, pulling that up. So I think this one we might have. This one I just got to call her. Brooke did the comps, and I think 135 was going to be our MAO, and so she just texted me back, and I don't know if you see that what she says right there. She says, "Hey, buddy, I'm ready at 135 if I walk away with good. If I walk away." And so basically, we're gonna give her a call right now. So let's see. Yep. Okay, let's see here. All right, here we go. Yeah, because Brooke, I think, did the ARV on this property for 210. Did you want to just kind of run it and see? We're gonna. Cool. All right, everyone, we're gonna get ready to make our first dial. Who's ready to hear some calls? Drop some thumbs up, fire emojis in the chat. That way we can, get this thing going. I want to see that chat mail. I want to see some fire emojis, and we're gonna try to get through all your questions. We're gonna try to give you answers for everything. But let's see who's ready for some calls and ready to get some agreements and contracts signed today. Let's go. Drop some fire emojis in the chat, some thumbs up. All right, here we go. Let's call her. Perfect. Let's go. Appreciate the fire emojis. Thank you. Thank you. Let's go. Jared, Mr. Bailey. Love it. Abel, let's go. Jolene. Woo, woo. All right, here we go. Give us a thumbs up if you can hear that.
Hello.
Hello, Christine.
Yes.
Hey, Christine, it's Max. Was calling you because I got your message. Sorry, I wasn't able to call you back sooner. So I got your message and basically, saying that, if I can get them to go up to 135, it sounds like you would be good to go on that price.
Yeah. I have a place out there looking at the home now.
Okay.
And they before they came out there, they offered me 42. So now they're out and looking at the house. So give me a minute and I'll have to call you back and let you know something for sure.
So you have somebody there on site, you said?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Got it. Well,
and before they got there, they offered me 42. That's before they got.
Yeah, no, and I get it. I understand why they did. Yeah, and I understand what they did that. A lot of times they'll offer a little bit higher to come out to the property, and then obviously what's going to happen once they walk through, they're typically usually going to come in about $15,000 to $20,000 lower. I actually, and I actually was just talking to my underwriting team right now, and they said if we do the 135, they would feel comfortable as long as you were ready to, obviously put things in writing, because we've been going kind of go back and forth on it. But only if we could do it.
Right.
Yeah, only we can do it today. So again, this is an offer you can depend on. They ran their numbers. I mean, they've done everything that they could possibly to try to come up.
Now, why does it say on the paperwork, it says 1,000 $1,000 something, and then 100 and whatever else, 100 and whatever thousand. After that, what does that mean?
I think you're referring to where it says, so basically I think because the original offer we had made you was 125,500. And then what we do is we put $1,000 earnest money to say that's really to show good faith. It's a deposit that we put into escrow. And then, but that amount gets reduced off the 125.5. So now it comes down to 124.5, right? It's just minusing. That's just that's just the deposit to show you, hey, it's a good faith deposit. We're gonna deposit this money to make sure that this agreement is legit. And that's the other thing too. You have to be careful because a lot of these individuals, they don't even put that down. Sometimes they'll try to do like $10, and we're actually doing $1,000 on it. So again, and again, it's not.
And then how much I sign the contract? Say I sign the contract today. Mm-hmm. When would we go to close it?
Sure. So that's a great question.
And when would we have to leave the place?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, I think on our last call, I had talked a little bit about this, but I know we've been covering a lot. So what I had said on my last call is policy standard is to have on our agreements is 30 days on or before 30 days, because the title companies, a lot of times, we're at the mercy of them, having to pull title, make sure that title transfers and all that stuff. But we've seen it done a little sooner. Now, are you, again, so it just depends on how fast the title company moves. And then also the second part to that is that depends on how much time you will need as well to be able to move, whatever the next steps are for you. So we're willing to work with your time. Go ahead.
So in other words, I wouldn't get the money until I was completely out of the house.
Yeah, especially if we're saying that the property is going to be vacant at close of escrow. There are some situations where there are some situations that's happened in the past where we are able to, let you stay maybe for 10 to 15 days, but that means that we would have to hold back a little bit of the funds, right? We can't give you 100% of the funds. It would stay in escrow with the title company. Right. And then once you leave, they'll release those funds right to you if you need, like, say 10 days or 15 days to yeah. So
but I would be able to get some of the funds prior to, correct?
Yeah, correct. Mm-hmm. Yep. So do you think you're gonna need time? Do you think you're gonna need your funds and then some time?
This guy just got done doing the house. Mm-hmm. So I want to speak with him, and then I'll call you back so we can, if I decide to go with you, I'll call you back before 5 o'clock and let you know either way.
Okay. Well, I mean, we have an offer you can depend on. Just remember that, right? We're not, we already talked. We already went through everything.
I know it.
Yeah. And we're willing to, let you stay in the property, right? 10 to 15 days. You already know we're able to do that as well. And we have $1,000 deposit that we're gonna do, so that way you're able to, that way that we mean business as well too. So yeah, exactly. So I mean, it's gonna be difficult, and I just want to make sure my underwriting team holds the funds and stuff, just like I've been mentioning to you as well too. So you think you can, when do you think you can call me back here?
Give me an hour, I'll call you back by 2.
Okay, sounds good then. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Talk to you in an hour.
Bye.
All right, bye.
Yeah, I don't. These guys offered how much? 142.
She was saying 42, but that's fine.
No. It's I think she was mentioning because we were at 35 and she was saying 42. Okay. Yeah. No, there's no way. Answered. Let me see.
It's close.
So I'm going to enter some notes on here.
I guess I was curious how much money she needed up front. Was she just needing some deposits for an apartment, or?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, typically we'll get to that when we call her, if she does call back. I think the one thing too is, get her to understand, like, there's going to be a $10,000 holdback. for her to stay, after closing, and then we'll give her 15 days. So. All right, let's see. All right, here we go. If I get a contract completed, can I send it email? You can send it to sendusthedeals.com. Sendusthedeals.com. You can send it there if you do get a contract completed. That way, Alex can look at it and give you some feedback on it. So there's the website there on the screen. Make sure that you're sending it there to sendusthedeals.com. Let's see here. There's a few other questions. Is 10K standard a whole bunch? It's not. I mean, again, that's you want it. So here's the thing. Like, I like to go as high as possible because your buyers are going to feel more comfortable, right? You want to talk a little bit about that? Why it's important for that for your buyers?
It is. And if a seller asks me, I always reply that it's company policy to hold back the 10K and that we are sure that they plan on moving out and doing everything as we have agreed. But unfortunately, the last eviction we had to do was over $5,000. So we need to make sure there's enough there to cover the cost of the worst case scenario and still be able to make the payments and maintain the property for the couple months that takes to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's very rare that I get any pushback on the 10K.
Yeah.
If they're only netting 10K, maybe we try to make it a little less.
Yeah.
But
that's always been my go-to is $10,000, right? Now, only because we're doing about 10 to 15 days. If they want to go longer, like 90 days, then you have to negotiate, some rent back and, things like that. So because, your buyer either's got to get hard money loan if he's not paying, cash with personal cash or private money. So they're going to be paying interest on that. So the better you can make it for your buyer to help the seller, it's got to be an equal playing field, right? We're helping the seller, but we also have to understand like the buyer needs to have some type of protection or some type of benefit from actually doing this as well too. So we want to give them a time limit so they can make a decision. I think that would be great because yeah, of course. Exactly. Yep. How do you record your phone calls if you're starting now? Well, I mean, if you're just starting now, you can use like Google Voice. I mean, that's a really good app. I think that records your calls. You can also use what's it called? CallRail. That's another one. Grasshopper, I think, is another one. So
yeah.
I mean, I don't know how else you would record your calls on a regular phone. I know the iPhone. I mean, yeah, I don't know how else you would record them.
You go live and turn Zoom on.
Zoom. Yeah, exactly. You can go live, turn Zoom on. You got to have some type of software. So Nancy says she uses Ring Central. So cool. All right. Let's see who's next on the list to call. And we got to keep an eye on this one because if she calls us back right away, we got to get the agreement out to her. All right. Let's see. So I'm going to go to opportunities. Oh, it looks like somebody submitted a deal, Alex.
Okay.
Duplex.
Ooh, and it's Memphis. I like
Memphis, Tennessee, under contract. Okay. Let's see. What do we have next? So Richard says, how does the 15-day work? What happens if there's damage to the property? Is that way you're holding back? Yeah, exactly. Yep. If there's something, or the seller doesn't get out, that could happen too, right? You know, the 10K, you know, in the agreement, it says that if they're not out by the 15 calendar day, yeah, the funds get released to the buyer. So sometimes you can do like per diem too as well. So you could do, say, you get 15 calendar days and then an extra 5 calendar days with the per diem of $200 per day, right? Whatever, $150 per day, $200 per day. But after that 5-day per diem period, the rest of the funds are going to get released to the seller. So basically, it creates motivation for the seller to get out. That's really what that's about. That's really what the holdback is. It's motivation for the seller to get out because of what you just said. You asked right there, Richard. If they have no motivation to get out, they got their funds, right? They got their money for the sale. Imagine the sellers are still living in the property.
It happens. Sometimes their credit's not so great, or they have a bunch of pets.
Yeah.
And they thought they were going to find somewhere to rent and they can't. And then they want to stay.
Exactly. And they, you know, again, and they're really comfy because they got their, you know, they got their money. So, yep. All right, let's see. Here we go. Let's go back to, I'm trying to see how I can. I want to see if anybody's sending a lead. So what I'm going to do is filter. I'm going to filter by campaign.
I got to do deals with me in Jacksonville.
Is it a lead?
Let's see.
Leads.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yep, I see that one. Okay, so that one was sent in by. So the name on here says Rose, but let's see who the JV is. Kenya. All right, Kenya, let's go. Let's call this lead. All right, let's call that one. Let's call Rose and Ashley. All right. All right, so we're gonna call Rose. That's Kenya's lead in Jacksonville, Florida. So let's see.
The seller's listed with an agent unknown. It
Is it?
says she doesn't have to work with the agent.
All right, let's find out. Can we pull up to see how long it's been listed?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
And she's moving to another country.
Perfect. It's great motivation. Oh, 144 days. Wow.
I smell this up too.
Yeah, that's a long time to be listed. Okay, let's give her a call while you're looking that up.
Hello?
Hello, Rose.
Hello?
Hello, Rose.
Yeah?
Oh, hey, Rose. This is
Yeah?
Max. This is Max. I was calling you because you had, spoken to one of my team members about potentially selling that property over at Ashley Park.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Well, like I said, I appreciate you for confirming that. Now I did get some, a few notes from, obviously my team member, and I wanted to just follow through to see if we could qualify the property for an offer. Is that okay if I ask you a few questions?
Sure.
Got it. Okay, perfect. I appreciate that. Now, one of the first things I just want to, clarify just a little bit on the property. It is currently listed on the open market, correct, with the real estate agent?
It's listed, but I'm the agent.
Oh, okay. You are.
Sort of.
Got it. Okay. So perfect.
Sort of.
So I'm sorry.
I said sort of.
Got it. Got it. Okay. Now, okay, perfect. Well, that helps me out because obviously the reason why I'm asking that is I know a lot of times, when it's listed with the real estate agent, my next question would be like if if you have some type of agreement to be able to sell the property, obviously, outside of that, or do we need to go through the agent? But in this case, you are the owner/agent. It sounds like you're okay to just talk and figure out, what offer we can make on it.
Yes, but I'm not doing any kind of term.
You're not doing any kind of terms, you said?
Unless you put down maybe $300,000.
$300,000. So what are you looking to get for this property?
Yeah. $399.9.
So you're looking to get what you have it listed for?
I would like it. I come down with 20,000.
Okay. You've been on the market. I mean, what's the feedback been so far, having it listed, and how many offers have you gotten?
I've gotten a lot of offers.
Okay.
I've sold it twice, but they're financing fell through.
Okay. Makes sense. So when you say you got a lot of offers, I'm assuming you're getting offers like in the low 200,000s?
Hell no. 350, 340.
Okay. I mean, yeah.
There's nothing wrong with the house.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, honestly, like the house looks good.
Okay.
I'm sorry?
Yeah. If you're trying to steal it, you're talking to the wrong person.
I'm not trying to do anything. I'm trying to figure out if we're even going to buy this property, honestly. And that's why I said I need to ask you a few questions. So all I'm doing is just trying to figure out, because we don't buy every property from anyone we talk to. So, I'm just trying to figure out if this is even a property we would even consider making an offer on. And to me, it sounds like it's not for now. Obviously.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, all right. Have a good day. Bye.
No, I didn't.
So that was tough, right? Right off the back, she said, "What? I'm not doing terms, but I want $399.9." Can you? Oops, sorry. Go ahead.
It's 329.
Yeah. So again, the comp is what are we seeing? What the highest comp we have right now is 329. You said, and that's the exact same house, right?
Mm-hmm,
so again, 329 ARV, what we see, right? And then she's listed for 399. And so the other thing too is she has, she's had offers for 350 according to her. But one thing you notice on there, she's like, well, if you want to steal it, like, I'm not trying to do anything. I'm trying to figure out if I'm even want to buy in this thing, right? And because we don't buy every property when we want to. A lot of times sellers would try to corner you, right? A lot of times they'll try to clump you up with everyone else. So you have to be able to come back and let them know, like, look, that's what you might think, but that's not what I'm here to do. I don't even know if I even want this property. But again, I mean, being ARV is 330 on the high end, like, that's tough. I mean, she's unrealistic, not a lot of motivation. There's a situation there where I think you read in the notes, right, Alice, that she wants to move out of the country. But what happens is a lot of times we confuse situation with motivation. So we have to be careful with that, because I can have a situation, but it might not be motivation yet because it's not impacting me, right? What is the impact of that situation on your finances, personally, emotionally? Where is that spectrum at, right? So a lot of times, and I've done it before. I've done that too before, where I confuse situation with motivation, even to the point where a lot of people are like, well, they're ready to go because they're in foreclosure. Well, think twice, because a lot of people will let it go to auction before they ever sell it to you. I've had that happen as well too. So, and the property's not like fixed up, right? It's not.
It's okay. It's the
yeah.
same as the 3.
Yeah, it's decent, right? It's the same as the 330. So basically,
Just
go ahead.
older cabinetry. Like it definitely still needs 30,000, but it's not going to bring it up too far.
No.
350.
No, it's not. So, Jolene said a great answer. Appreciate it. Let's see who else here. Marlu, what's going on, brother? Appreciate you for joining us. What are good states to start wholesaling, Max? And you and I got to chat about that. You got to hit me up. We'll start chatting about that. But really, we're focusing on 4 main markets right now. So, like, we're focusing on North Carolina, Texas, and Georgia, and here in Phoenix right now. So, let's see. Drake said that fresh fade, Max, is the motivation. You're funny, dude. Let's see here. I'm not sure what the question marks are for, Jolene. Did you ask a previous question somewhere? Yeah, I'm not sure what that is. Almost like dating, laugh out loud. She told me she wanted to sell ASAP so she can move outside. Yeah, of course. That's the thing, right? There's also the second part to, situation versus motivation is they want to sell versus they need to sell, right? That's huge.
Yep.
Yeah, huge. Everybody wants to sell ASAP, but do they really need to sell ASAP because of the situation that's turned into motivation that's impacting them, right? So where's it at in that impact meter?
Right. So if she had a job that she had to be on the other side of the country
By a certain
by
date.
X date,
Yep.
then we have motivation.
Yeah, exactly. Now you're creating. Now she's back against the wall off a timeline. So,
and she's going to pick the best solution of what's available.
Exactly.
She might want to sell it for 400 cash, but if that's not available, the next best solution might be sub 2.
Yep, exactly. All right, so let me go ahead and disposition this as no go.
She needs to be put on a drip campaign.
Yeah, we could do that actually.
Let me see if I can find you some more.
Boom. Perfect. So she's on a drip sequence as a follow-up. Okay.
We got to send us the leads in Chesterbrook, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
On Cheswold.
Let me go back again here. Where's it at?
106 Cheswold Court.
Okay, got it. I don't want to say addresses too much.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just street name. All right, so we already called Rose. Whose lead is this? Let's see. Here we go.
Looks like Jean.
Yeah, I think we tried to call this one. I believe it looks like it. Let's see. See if there's any notes in here.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. We tried calling this one a few times. We can call it again. It looks like the JV partner is the name of the seller, even in the notes. So no answer. Yep. So she's on a drip sequence. Still hasn't been. We called this person 5 times already.
Okay.
Yep. She's getting dripped a lot right now. So that's the only lead that we had that's new, it looks like. Yeah, so for those, we're just letting the system, for those of you who submitted a lead last week, we're letting the system, work it. We're letting the system get them back on the phone. You submitted a property a few days ago, yep. And she hasn't hit stop, so, which is great. All right, let's see, let's hit next. Yep, same thing with the next one. Most of these we've already tried calling. Yep, talk to this guy too. All right, so let's see, Cheswood Court. All right. Yeah, I'm not seeing any new ones. Claude, we tried calling. Destiny, yep. We tried calling that one. Let me see. Yep, these are all on drips. All right, so Brooke just confirmed. What I thought was there was only one new send us the lead. So cool. All right, so we got to that one. Go ahead. Oh, were you gonna say something else or no? Got it. So remember, if you want us to call your leads live, make sure that you're sending them in to sendustheleads.com. I believe there was a question in here that earlier my guy Travis said, can they submit a lead without the email? Do you know?
Without the,
I think that it needs the seller email, correct? Or can they just make it up?
put their own email in there.
You could put your own email as well, Travis, if you're still watching, so that way you can submit the lead and we'll call it live. Because if you don't have the seller's email, yeah, you can put your own email in there. So that way, and let us know in the notes too. Let us know in the notes that you are sending us a deal, okay? Or sorry, let us know in the notes that it's your email that you put in there instead of the seller's, because that's going to help us so we don't drip you, because you'll be drip for life. All right. Nancy said, okay, thanks for telling me I can send my own automation with the lead I sent in then. Yeah, you can. Absolutely. More follow-up, the better. I hope to add a new one or two, but they were they were my botch attempts. I hope to add a new one or two, but they were my botch attempts. Okay.
That's okay. I'm clapping for
Yeah.
that. That happens.
Yeah, exactly. So that's good. It's okay. We don't know, right? We don't know until we call. So exactly. All right. So let me go back here.
Yeah, the last thing you want to do is try to analyze the deal before actually making the call.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. There is a lead that came in here. Let me see. Thought it was a carrot lead. Okay, this one right here. I think Brooke tried to call this. Yep. No, we could try to call it. See if they pick up for us. So it's under the campaign carrot. Yeah.
Okay, I see it.
All right, here we go.
It just sold last year.
Oh, did it?
March of 22.
Okay.
2 years ago now. It's nice though.
Hello.
Hello, Steve.
Yes, that's who's calling, please.
Oh, hey, Steve. This is Max. I was calling you because you had filled out a form on our website about selling that property over in El Camino Tesoro in Sedona.
Yeah, who are you with?
So the website you fill out the form with is Sell Quick for Cash.
Sell quick for cash.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I got to sell my house
Arizona. Sell my
That's-
house fast, Arizona.
Yeah, so those are we have about 3 or 4 different websites. So that's actually one of them there. Sell my house fast Arizona. We have sell quick for cash.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So
Okay.
well, yeah. So like I said, I got the information. Obviously, the information doesn't always tell the whole story on what's going on. Is it okay if I follow through and ask you a few questions to qualify the property for an offer?
Absolutely.
Got it. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
No
So
worries. And I'm just going to let you know, I'll be fully transparent and fully honest. All I ask is that you do the same.
sure, yeah, definitely. That's why I wanted to ask questions, because we don't typically buy properties from everyone we talk to. Our solution doesn't fit everybody. So the better the better straightforward, the easier for everybody. So,
Absolutely.
yeah. Thank you for that. Can you verify the bedroom and bathroom count for me?
It's like 5 bedroom, 4 bath, I think.
5 bedroom, 5 bathrooms.
We never lived back.
I'm sorry, say that.
We bought the house. We bought the house in the assumption that it was going to be our final home.
Oh, got it. Okay.
And we went through and we remodeled it, almost all of it, not all of it, but almost all of it, inside and out. And my wife and I went up there and stayed up there a couple of weekends. And last weekend that we were there, she came to me and just said, "Hey, look, I'm not feeling it. I thought I was really going to love it up here, and I just don't."
Mm-hmm.
She said, everything shopping is far away if I want to go to the stores I'm used to.
Correct.
She said, yes, some shopping is close, but it's not what I'm used to. And she says, I'm sorry, I don't want to move up here. And I said,
Wow.
hey, it is what it is. I'm not going to argue with you.
Yeah.
We'll sell it. And so we put it on the market. We've
Okay.
had several offers, some better than others. We're still looking at one right now. But, this is where we are. I decided to put it out and get some people to look at it and see if there's any interest.
No, that makes sense. And I really appreciate you for sharing that info. And I did see on here that it was listed, obviously, the end of last year. And then I think the listing got removed this month, it looks like.
Yep.
Okay, got it.
January 1st.
Yeah, I do see that here on Zillow and stuff. That obviously that's so I'm assuming the offers you were getting, they were way too far apart than what you typically had it listed for.
I've had a couple at 1.45.
Okay.
Currently looking at one right now at 1.45.
Got it.
They have a couple of strange asks, which I won't get into, and some stuff that needed clarified.
Sure.
Other than that, we're going back and forth with them.
Okay.
Other ones at 1.45, we've already said no because of different stipulations that they had.
Got it. Makes sense. No, that makes sense. I mean, and I know the last price change you had was 1.49, so it's not too far. The 1.45 from the original.
50,000 off.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, like, I mean, I don't know if it's conventional or cash. I mean, that could make a difference. Who knows, right? Because if they're conventional, they might have to get qualified for it. But if they are, that's great.
Yeah, that right there doesn't bother me either way. You're either going to qualify or you're not.
Sure.
Once you're qualified, it's the same as cash to me because I get paid. The house will appraise for whatever it's going to appraise for.
Yeah,
I
of
just
course.
put almost $350,000 into it.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then,
so it's almost everything's been remodeled with the exceptions of 2 bathrooms and the master shower.
okay.
Other than that, everything else is pretty much done,
Yeah.
including landscaping.
Got it.
So
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like the property sounds really great. I mean, you've done a lot of work to it. And then really quick, confirming, I'm looking here online because sometimes the information is not correct. Is the HOA is $970 a month?
I don't know. It all comes out of the payment.
Okay, got it.
So I know we have our loan, which is 3.8%.
Okay.
At $770,000, which is an unassumable loan for qualified persons.
Sure.
And it takes the payment, it takes HOA, it takes property taxes and insurance out.
Got it. Okay. Makes sense. I mean, that's kind of the typical process. I just, I didn't know if you know on top of the head because on top of your mind, because a lot of times the information is not always accurate on some of these public sites. So I know you went on obviously you were listed and then you have an offer right now close to your last listing price. And then you submitted the form, the information on our website. What's the goal in mind? I mean, were you looking for, to see what would be a quick sale cash? Because typically when people that fill out the form in the past, typically, when they do, they're looking for more convenience. And I love that you're a straightforward guy and convenience cost, right? So I'm just trying to figure out where you're at as far as your goals filling out the form, because I mean, you're a savvy guy, you know what you're doing, just kind of want to get where you're at, same page here.
Oh yeah, I was a general contractor in California for well over 20 years. I used to do flips myself.
Mm-hmm.
I currently live about 3 hours away from the house in Sedona.
Okay.
I'm not going to go up and finish it.
Got it.
I'm not going to travel 6 hours a day to go up there and babysit. I'm just not going to.
You mean you have to babysit contractors?
Yeah, absolutely you do.
I know, I'm just kidding.
But anyhow, with that being said, I mean, I'm pretty confident with the market turning around and home prices going up and interest dropping. With that being said, I ran my numbers like I used to do, and I figured within 4 to 6 months, if it was on the market at 1.75, I don't believe it would be an issue to get that.
Correct.
Granted, 2 bathrooms and the shower would all have to be redone at that point as well. But I'm just not willing to do that. So, I mean, we've talked about just paying it off. We have the money to pay it off.
Okay.
And just let it sit, and so it's not a money thing for us.
Sure.
We're into it for 1.55 to 1.6.
Okay.
That range, I'd have to pull the receipts out to look at it. But at the end of the day, we already know we're going to lose a little bit, and we're willing to lose a little bit. And at I think the 1.5 is fair, and yes, we would even take the 1.45. But somebody coming in with an offer that they do their own escrow, they do their own fees and commissions, and the offer is what the offer is, then I would go probably down to 1.3 to 1.35.
Got it.
If that sounds like something that you want to entertain, then you can put something together for me, and I would be more than happy to take a look at it.
Sure.
If that's not in your number range, I fully respect that. I don't want to waste your time.
Yeah, of course. And again, I don't know, to be honest with you yet. I definitely would like to do a little bit more homework. My initial call today was just I got the information. I want to make sure that I contact you. Obviously, that's really the standard for us. We want to contact everybody that fills out the form. And then, like I mentioned earlier in the call, we don't buy every single property. We have to call and find and ask questions. And then obviously if, do a little bit more research on our end in regards to, whether that number is feasible or not. And if it's not, it's okay. We let you know. We don't try to go back and forth. But I do appreciate you for letting me know. Obviously, now I got an understanding of, filling out the form and where you would be at as a net offer that you would accept, where someone does pay closing costs and things like that. I mean, Max,
not to cut you off, and I apologize for that.
Sure.
I'm already losing some money.
I get it.
I'm going to lose well over 100,000. So the bottom line is, I'm willing to lose a little. Are you willing to make a little less?
Sure, I get it.
Because you're not going to lose money on this property. You're not going to lose money on the property.
Yep.
You're just not going to.
I get it.
And I'm sure you'll see that when you do your homework. So that's the question that you and your investors have to sit down and discuss.
Yep. Yeah, of course. Of course. I did want to ask you, I know, and again, you're very familiar, so I'm just going to talk, industry language. Would you
Please do. Please do.
Yeah, of course. Would you be open to any type of term transactions at all with some time in there involved? I mean, would you consider anything like that as far as
what?
Where we would come in and try to give you the most for the property? Let's say we came in and try to give you somewhere between 1.4 to 1.6. And then you would give us, terms where we would make you equal monthly payments every month, and that's something that we have.
What?
We would come in and give you equal monthly payments every month. where we can give you the max close to the 1.6. The only thing is we would need, some terms for that, as far as,
Like, what are the terms?
So I know in the past, other sellers, they've given us, as far as timeline is the biggest concern, or the biggest one that comes up, because a lot of times some sellers want to give us, 60 months, but that comes out, we can't put as much down because we want to make sure we're able to refi or sell by the end of that term. So we have other sellers where they're giving us 120 to 240 months where we give them those equal monthly payments, and we can come up with some down payment. And then at the end of that term, then you would get to access all your equity through a refinance on our side or the sale of the property.
So for how long?
Again,
There's a drop dead date.
There could be, yeah. If your goal is to say, hey, Max, I can't do more than XYZ, I'd be willing, if you could do one, let's say, just hypothetically here speaking, let's say that you said, hey, Max, if you give me 1.6, I'm going to give you this time of XYZ. That's when I would want to be done and be cashed out. But before that, I'm okay with doing something where you can, either continue making the monthly payments on the mortgage, or if you do pay it off, you want to seller finance it to me, that's fine too as well. But yeah, the timeline is going to be dependent on what your goal is and how long you're okay with keeping.
So I would continue making all the payments myself.
No.
During this time frame.
No, we would. Yeah, we would. So there's two ways to do it, because earlier you mentioned something about paying off the loan and just holding on to it. So if you did that before, let's say we agreed to something, then we would make payments directly to you. If we came in
and whose name does it stay in?
So, that's a great question, right? There's different ways that we can do it. I mean, typically if it's a straight seller finance deal where the property's paid off, so we would be the owners, the deed gets transferred, but you would be the deed of trust holder, just like you did right now with your bank, right? Your bank has the deed of trust. Yep. They're protected with that, but you're on the deed. You're the owner of the property. That's typically how it goes. Yeah.
Okay. And that's on seller finance, non-seller finance, where maybe it stays in my name and you make the payments.
Yeah. There's the other option as well, where you leave the mortgage in place, which is called the subject to the existing mortgage. Yeah.
Okay. And then I guess my questions would be, you would go in and remodel it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously to get it to what it needs to, it doesn't sound like it needs a lot of work, from everything that you told me, except for the little bit that's left. So that would be the goal. Yeah. Again, depends on how high we go. If we go the full, I mean, what are you thinking the value would be if it was completely rehab with everything that needs done? Do you know what it would be at as far as the market value?
If I knew that, I'd be a billionaire.
You and I both, because you're right. At the end of the day, the market's
I can guess with everything that I've looked at and read, and believe me, I do research. My wife hates me. I research everything, and if we're gonna buy a pillow, I research that shit. So, anyways, that being said, the average, what I'm seeing right now is in the second to third quarter of this year, home prices are supposed to raise a minimum of 1% each quarter.
And if they drop the interest rate, it might be. If they drop the interest rate, we might see higher than that, because they're getting ready to do 4 interest rate drops this year. I don't know how fast, how soon, but I can tell you, even if they drop half to 1%, it's going to be crazy again. I can tell you that right now.
And exactly. And that's what I was going to say next is, I can only speculate what it's actually going to be, but from every indication that I've read and seen and talked to people about, is it's going to be sub 5. It's not going to get down into the 3s.
No, we won't see 3s
in the high 4s, low 5s.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's enough.
Everything I'm seeing is high 4s.
No, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I said that's enough to create a frenzy, though.
No problem.
Okay.
Yeah. High 4s, low 5s is what I'm seeing. And with that being said, if I was doing this for the business I had back in California, I would anticipate 1.750 is a good number, and it would fluctuate a little bit up or down from there. But I think with that number in mind, even if it fluctuated down, it's not a losing proposition, and it's just a matter of how much are you willing to make, you know?
Yeah.
Well, if you're willing to make 100 to 200,
correct.
Then, maybe it'll work. If you're looking for something where you're going to make, 500,000, then this is probably not the project for you.
No, it makes sense. And, Sedona is a beautiful city. Obviously, we're here in Arizona and I love Sedona. And, you can never tell, like, really, who's someone's willing to pay just to live out there. Right. I think, and here's the other thing too, though, is one of the things I know you mentioned earlier, about traveling back and forth and finishing the work. So if we went the route with terms on a deal with terms, I mean, technically I would be responsible for pretty much everything, right? When it comes to the taxes, insurance, all that.
So there's no money out of my pocket. No money out of my pocket while you're doing this. And is there a drop dead date? And how long would that be? Is it 1 month, 2 months, 3, 4, 5? What's the drop dead date usually?
So again, I wish that sometimes we'd like to keep it as long as possible, right? But we know that never happens. I mean, we can keep it. We can keep it for. And I'm just being straight front. This is why I always ask sellers is like, so what are you doing in 5 years? What are you doing in 10 years? Do you want to, you know what I mean? That's always very subjective question when it comes to that, because I would love to put something together and send it to you to look at based around 120 months, which is a 10-year, term. But you might say, no, Max, that's way too long. I would be somewhere between,
that's exactly what I would say.
Exactly.
That's exactly what I say. I mean, Max, I'll be completely honest with you. I consider 1 year, but I don't even know if I want to go that long either. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I get you.
It would all depend on terms and fees and price.
No, I get it.
Come at me with a great price, no fees, and I mean, I'll be honest. I had one guy that offered me around 1.5. He said he would pay off the mortgage and put it in his name with us on second for the remaining amount, and then he'd go in and redo the bath and the shower, and he allotted $60,000 to do so.
Okay. And
I was all okay with that. And then he said to me, and we would relist it at 1.75. I'm like, I'm still good. That's in my numbers that I already said. But he lost me when he said, and then when it sold, you would be on the hook for, out of that price, all out of the 1.75. First thing that would come back is the money that we paid off, the money, the 60,000 we put into it, 5% of the selling price, closing costs, and 1% of the selling price for every month that was on the market until it sold.
Okay.
And then you would get paid the rest of your money, and we would split anything else if any. And I was like, nah, dude, because you put everything in your favor, 0 in my favor, and I'm the only one taking a risk.
Right.
And it's like, it's not I have to sell it thing. It's I want to sell it thing.
Correct.
So that I just told them, nah, man, that's an unreasonable term. So that just letting you know where I'm at there. I mean, if you were to come to me and say, hey, I'll give you 1.6 and you keep it in your name and we'll have a separate contract or whatever, for everything else. And, what we'll do is we'll go in there. I'll make all the payments. We'll go in, we'll do the bathroom, put it back on the market. And in 8 months from now, if it isn't sold, we'll pay you the difference or pay you the 1.6. And, you pay your fees or whatever we pay.
Okay.
And, we'll keep doing it.
Got it.
If you wanted to do something like that, I mean, I would be all for that. But, I don't like this 5% of the selling price and we split this. Plus you got to pay 1% of the sell price. It's, the guy was double dipping and I don't like that,
So,
I mean, make it
makes
simple
sense.
terms.
Yeah, no,
Even if you Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Even if you want to 1.6, and we got an 8-month drop dead date, and out of that, whatever we sell it for, we're going to take our fees and this, that, and the other, but not to go below the 1.6. You never go below the 1.6 or whatever the offer is.
He's pitching me an ovation.
If you start like going, okay, well, our fees could eat into your 1.6, and it's no longer.
I think 1.6 is too high, though. 1.6. No, that makes sense.
Because then I might as well just
it's a lot cleaner, right? No, for sure, and it's a lot cleaner because at the end of the day, it's the goal is for you to net the 1.6, and then whatever happens after above that, that's my situation with obviously having to do the work and then us going to list it. But for the meanwhile, we could do what we call an agreement for sale at the 1.6. That's going to come net to you. You're going to continue making the payments and everything else. We'll finish it off, and then we list it. Let's say
I thought you were going to make the payments.
Well, not on the 1 year. Not on the 1 year. That's too close. There's no way we would be able to do that.
Okay.
Yeah. Not on the 1 year.
So we would make the payments on a shorter term.
Correct. Yep.
But there's still that drop dead date where whatever you offer us is at that drop dead date. If you haven't repaired it and you haven't sold it, then at that drop dead, you're still on the hook and you have to pay us off.
Sure. I mean, there's something that definitely will work. So let me do this. Because obviously I definitely want to do a little bit more homework and research on this because, obviously at the 1.6, it puts it on the tail end of, what potentially could be worth. Again, the market's going to be with the market. You, Steve, and I, you and I both understand that.
Yeah, we're not clairvoyant.
Exactly. And so, but I love that you're open to at least structure something, in regards to, doing a deal, which is great. You understand the business. And, if we can even get something like that done, I want to make sure that, it's a win for you and also a win for us as well at the end of the day. Okay.
Yeah. Now let's talk about something else real quick.
Yep.
So in dealing with you, if we came to an agreement on a price, now when you either the drop dead date hits and you have to pay it off, or you sell it to somebody else. I know if you sell it to somebody else, of course, at a higher price, commissions and fees would all come out of that. But at a drop dead price, do you have your own people that do the fees and the contracts, and there's no fees or commissions that are taken out of that?
Yeah, so the owner of the company, he's also a licensed broker as well too. We're very familiar with this. Okay. I mean, if you look us up,
is he licensed in Arizona?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, we do we do a lot of new builds too. If you look up Green Elephant Development, you'll see the projects that we're doing and stuff. So just Google that Green Elephant Development, and so we're familiar and we don't have to worry about the listings and all that. So for sure.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So here's the thing. If we're not paying fees at the end of the day and we're not paying commissions, then, we would take a little bit lower price to show that.
Okay. Got it.
I mean, I would like, my goal is obviously to break even, and not lose. But if I lose a little bit, I lose a little bit, Max. Okay.
Sure.
I'm not unreasonable. All I'm asking for is for you not to be unreasonable either, to do your homework and see, if you could get in, 10 months, a year from now, a price that works for you. If you do what you do and it works for you, then you're reasonable in what you offer,
Of course.
And the terms that go along with that. Okay. I'm not looking for you to get rich, and I'm not looking for me to not lose.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to meet somebody in the middle. You can make money, and I cannot lose as much.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
The bottom line.
And that's always the goal as well, too, right? Make it a win-win for everyone. But let me, like absolutely. I said, I want to do some research. I want to call you back on it and just give you more of an idea where we're at, and if it's something we want to try to structure with you, we're definitely, we can move forward. And if it doesn't, then, we would definitely, let you know as well. Okay.
Absolutely. Give me a call anytime.
All right, Steve. Appreciate you. Thank you for your time. Appreciate the info. Thanks.
You as well.
Yeah. Bye.
All right, man. Thank you.
Hoo-wee.
Who wants to sell it super bad?
He's selling me on the deal. Like he went from listing to cash to novation to 12-month term.
And then they could come off that some more
Mm-hmm.
if there was no commissions and other things like that. But what I see, and Sedona is not my primary market.
Sure.
I'm a license agent here, but Sedona is a kind of a market in itself. And what I have noticed just looking at the most recent 6-month sales in the immediate area is there's a huge break up to 1.3 million, tons and tons of sales, and
Yep.
then it hopped
Falls
all
off.
the way to 2 million.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So the things in between are,
Got
and
it.
so I was like,
So I think what separates them, again, if I can remember correctly, because views, well, I mean, what's location, right?
Right.
Is views, I think, is what really,
right.
what kind of makes that big jump. So, yeah.
Yeah. On his side of the road, most of them are the 1.3.
On the lower
And
lower
on the
end.
other
Okay.
side of the street, most of them, but it might be it's kind of like Fountain Hills here.
Yeah.
You would just have to get up there and see what that view looks like.
Yep. 100%. And for those of you that heard me just make that statement, it's like there is in real estate, literally, you've heard location. It really is location. And especially with these types of properties, like one street over can be the difference from 100,000 to 500,000, especially here in Sedona, because you got Sedona is really beautiful. But if he's on the lower end spectrum, I honestly think it's way too high. However, that doesn't mean we can't structure an offer for him, right? And so if you can't, if he doesn't want to go lower than 1.6, which he said he would if he didn't have to pay any fees out of pocket, which kind of puts it as almost like an ovation, right? So even if he was willing to do 1.4 and a half and wait the 12 months, because we would have to really see what is the actual maximum ARV on this, right? Are we at the 1.3? Then it's not a deal. Or can we reach 1.8 or 1.9, right? We don't know. And I think he still needs work. He still needs like
two bathrooms and a master bath.
Exactly.
And I would suppose I was allotting more money for the master bath than he did.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, they're always going to say it's the what is it called? They're going to say the least possible for sure. So, yep. Let's take a look here. So that was a good call. I mean, obviously, you have to learn when to pivot. So a quick reference on that call is you have to learn when to pivot. You have to know when to deviate from what your plan is, but that's just comes from experience, right? Understanding your prospect on the other line and going a different way than just sticking to the actual process. We still stuck to the process because, obviously we still have position. He almost wanted to convince me to buy the property.
He gave you a lot of info. He told you he's got a 770 loan at 3.8.
All by himself.
Like usually people say, "Why are you asking me that? That's not your business." So I like the seller, and from the perspective of he's been very straightforward so far. Yeah,
for sure. All right, so I'm gonna come on here, and I think can you add these notes to that? I'm gonna be right back. I have to rinse the bathroom real quick. And then I'm going to answer some of the comments that we're getting on this deal.
Let me put some of these notes in for him. Right. Let's- Brooke did it. Brooke, you already put these notes in. Okay. The only other thing I noticed is that it had a 6-month minimum short-term rental. Yeah.
Yeah. See, let's get back in here. Let's see, who do we got here? Let's see. Sounds like he turned the tables. Amazing call. His attitude somewhat changed and opened up to the conversation. Great call. He came with a game plan. I mean, he did. I mean, the guy's, it's he knows what he wants. I mean, savvy dude. You know what I mean? So Precious said maybe he should JV. I mean, yeah. I mean, that's kind of what we're trying to do. So do a JV with him. Do this type of innovation with 60K rehab, taking out 6% fees. I would leave 89,000 remaining for him to net 1.6 if he sold at 1.75. That's what we need to know. Like, exactly. Brooke's all in here putting digits and 89,000 will have left over for us. I don't want to pay anything on a 7-figure property. I'm not sure. I don't want to pay anything on a 7-figure property. What does he mean by that?
Maybe he was talking about the seller not wanting to pay commissions.
Oh, got it. Yeah. Makes sense. Yeah, he's, that's the thing. Yeah, for sure. He is definitely a little delusional on some aspects, but also he says some good. See, he's open to, doing a deal, which, it has to be a deal. We're not gonna, give him everything he wants at the end of the day. Right now, it's a discovery phase, right? Because we don't even know, to be honest with you, if this could even hit the 1.8, which is the most important thing, by the way. Precious Smith says, wow, thanks, Ms. Brooke, for the info. Yep, she's working behind the scenes. This is what you call an educated seller. Yeah, I mean, he's savvy, 100%. The guy is savvy for sure. Nice. It's a drop dead deal, though. Yeah, it's he's again, like I said, being very transparent, a little delusional, but he's willing to work. So Brooke says she added the notes. So
She did.
Yeah, man, she's working. Nancy has a question. The 10K holdback for extra time for the seller or anything that might happen. Do you charge more for places like Los Angeles, Bay Area, California? Yeah. Listen, you can hold back whatever you want. Like if it's a tricky seller, like you can hold back half the funds, right? You can release $10,000.
Yeah.
Hey, you only need $10,000 to move. Great. So what the title company is going to do, they're going to release you $10,000 to help you move. Once you move out, you're going to get the rest of your cash. So there's no like set amount or set structure or set, amount that needs to be it. Right. So Trina says, is this Monday's live calls? No, Tuesday or Tuesday, right? I'm just kidding, Trina.
I was like, wait, what?
It is Monday. All right. Let's see if, I think I got a call when I was on the call with him. Let's see if it was Christine real quick.
Uh-oh.
Christine. Let's see.
I think we should dig into if she needs the money to secure a new place or
Yeah, we're
kinda
going
dig
to.
there and build some confidence.
All right, let's see here. No. Nope. All right, cool. So let's continue. Diamond Monday says after the deal, you would look at him with your eye, like this eye right here, or like I myself. I would recruit him and put him on the team. He would succeed in this game and making deals. Yeah, he would. For sure. For sure. He's savvy. I mean, anyone else, he might have stumped you. He might have stumped some people, right? He was savvy. Most people aren't ready for that. So Drake said, "Go, Brooke." By the way, give Alice some love over here. So clapping hands. You should have seen all the notes she wrote down. Like she's just as good as Brooke. So put a thumbs up. Give her put some fire emojis. She's working hard over here. I would have known any other numbers or anything that I was actually telling the seller. So all right, here we go. Who is next on our list here? Omar. Let's see. Okay, Omar, you're in Levine, huh? Let's go. All right, let's call Omar. He's a home light lead. So if you want to look him up through the home light campaign, yeah. All right, let's see here. Jolene said, "Good job, Alice."
Oh, thank you, Jolene.
See if Omar picks up. All right, here we go. Nice. Oh, you know what? What the heck happened?
For more Osorio. I'm sorry, I can't take a call right now. Please leave a message and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you.
Hello, Omar. It's Max. I was calling about West Cheyenne Drive because. All right, so we're gonna do the cliffhanger voicemail. For those of you that are joining us new, that's the cliffhanger voicemail. And if you don't know why we do that, you might want to go back and watch some of the other ones that we that we've done. We basically don't leave detailed voicemails because again, want to make sure that they call us back. We got to create curiosity, excuse me. So that's why we do the cliffhanger voicemail. So all right. Let's see. Yeah, so they didn't answer, Alice. I'm gonna go to the next one. I think it's April is her name.
Okay.
Let's see. Let's take a look here. Oops. What did I do? Dang it. Okay, there it is. All right. Property in North Carolina. April. All right, here we go.
Automated voice messaging system.
All right, no answer. Double tap.
It's an automated voice messaging system. 70424240116 is not available. The mailbox is full and cannot accept any messages at this time.
Oh, great.
Goodbye.
Yeah, we're gonna shoot her. Well, actually, she's already getting text from us through the sequence. So let me see here. Yep, the sequence is running right now. Jarvis. Okay, this guy answered today. Sounds great. So I want to call it. Is that a real name? Can we look up to see in a prop stream? See if that's his name. Doc Johnny. I doubt if that's his real name, honestly. Or maybe it is. Who knows? You need the address? We're looking up on PropStream to see if that's his real, if this is the seller's real name, because it sounds like he played in Tombstone. The name sounds a Tombstone name. Oh, did he? Let's see. Oh wait, yeah. No.
Do you have?
I have this right here.
Okay. Maybe he's I don't even have the city coming up.
Interesting. Sometimes you gotta. That's interesting that it's not coming up. It's. Oh wait, the city's not on here.
767.
Let's call him up. I'm gonna call him because. Did you? Okay. Should I call him Doc? Hey, Doc. Back to the Future.
What's up, Doc?
Yeah, no kidding, huh? We're gonna redial because no pickup. We're gonna double tap. Remember, guys, double tap works. Double tap, double tap, double tap. All right, so hung up, no answer, and we weren't able to leave voicemail. So okay, let's see here. All right, we're gonna pause here for a little bit. We're gonna blast the property to one of our buyers. This is a moment for you guys to ask questions. Anything so far, ask any questions. We're 2 hours in now. I'm gonna pause real quick. We got a property I want to blast on investor lift to one of our buyers. So let me see here. It's already in investor lift real quick. I think the template's already done. Let's see. Okay. Accepting offers until put Thursday. I think this is one of Bryant's. The McCormick Ranch.
Is he asking you to bless that?
Why?
He and I had talked, and that the asking price is ARV.
Mm.
So he told me not to push it.
Well, he
The
sent
other
an
day.
email right now here. Blast vacant on a lockbox. Right, this is the address.
From Thursday.
Today.
Okay. Somebody bought it and got in over their head
Mm-hmm.
on the flip.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah,
So
that
now,
happens.
now they want out. So let me see what this looks like. Yeah, I think it's gonna be tough, Alex. We're gonna change him as the acquisition. Glad I looked at that. And we need to put pictures. We need to put the link for Zillow on here because I don't know how that's gonna work, especially with it being listed already. This one's gonna be tough. I don't think we're gonna get much what is it called? Bites on it, honestly.
That was pictures prior to the little bit of.
Yeah.
I know.
Yep. So are we gonna save this? You want to see if there's any questions on here? That you want to answer, Alice? Or
Sure.
okay, cool. Are you logged into while I'm doing this? All right, let's preview the deal.
I can answer some of these.
Okay, cool.
So, hi, Brooke.
Brooke's all in the DM in the
It's
chat.
there. All right. Steven says, are these PPC leads, which would be pay-per-click? These are an assorted leads. Most of them are coming in from students looking to do JV deals on Send Us the Deals. Some of these are coming through some other sources as well. I wouldn't say pay per lead. We have used a number of companies. What we find is that when they sell those leads to multiple real estate investing companies, that the sellers get a little sideways with the number of calls they're getting. So most of these are not pay-per-click in the way that you would think about them. So the Nancy says, does the LLC have more classes on auctions or how you would structure those deals? So when it comes to auctions, most of them across the United States need to have funds available within a very short time frame. And you're not allowed or not able to assign a property that you've contracted at auction prior to closing. And so it would take a few more steps, possibly raising some private money to be able to do those deals. I think it's a great source of deals for hotels or fix and flippers, but not so much for just straight wholesale, because the financial component cannot be worked around and cannot be assigned out. So really, we want to catch those properties prior to foreclosure and see if we can either pay cash or maybe we can catch up the payments they're behind and still fix up the property and do a hotel or just a regular wholesale deal. But the other thing I love about auctions, because it is necessary to pay cash in a short period, that means that the cash buyers that you can meet at the auctions are going to be very valuable for you. So I would go as a wholesaler and chat it up and shake some hands, and they're legit buyers if they're at the auction, because there's not a way to just be a straight wholesaler and buying and selling contracts that are sold on the courthouse steps. So that's what I would do there. I might even wear a hat or a collared shirt or something to stand out a little bit. Start getting to know people.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see what you guys got. Yep, Monday's live calls. Anyone else got any questions? So
Yeah, I'm
can
almost
chat
done with
about?
this, so we can.
Perfect. Nancy, what state are you in? See everybody. I'm going to take a 2-second break
Yeah,
and
go
I'll be
ahead.
right back as well.
Cool. All right, everyone. What I'm doing right now is I'm actually getting ready to send a deal out that we had in our pipeline because we've had, let's see here. Let me send this out. Let's take a look here. All right, so we got 3,000. Okay, perfect. I'm gonna narrow this down. Let's go. All right, here we go. Here we go. Just getting ready to send it out. We're blasting out. So again, if you have a deal that you want us to help you move, send it to sendusthedeals.com, sendusthedeals.com. I want to help you to move this deal, any deals that you got. So that way we can, help you get it sold. I mean, that's one of the biggest things, right? Because a lot of us are out there contracting. And so what tends to happen is that on the sell side, that's always the second challenge, right? The first challenge is generating a prospect. The second challenge is getting it under contract. But and then I always say you make your money when you contract, but you don't get paid until it's sold and funded, right? So we have to find buyers now. Let's see here. So that's what I'm doing right now. I am basically getting ready to blast a deal on our platform for those that that are looking to buy a deal, honestly. So let's go ahead and continue. All right, let's see. Perfect. All right, just did it now. So let's go ahead and All right, I want to get back to calls now. Here we go. All right, don't go too far.
I know. I was like,
All right, let's see. Let's take a look here. As a newbie, if I like 5 markets, should I just start my backyard Dallas, or if it's easy to multitask all 5? As a newbie, I would not go 5 markets. As a newbie, I would try to work on getting my first deal in my backyard. If your backyard is not somewhere where you're in Dallas, so I wouldn't have a problem. You got Dallas and Fort Worth. That's a huge market. So I would focus on working both of those. Dallas, Fort Worth area. There's a lot of people there, Lalo, that I know that could help you out. A lot of big players in there as well, just like in Phoenix. There's a lot of, I would start there. I would not try to go out, especially if you're a newbie, especially if you're just doing it, if you're just starting out. Got to make sure that you understand, that it's not easy. It's not easy. It's not easy or as sexy as most people talk about when it comes to, virtual wholesaling. Like, it's not as easy as you think, right? So if you're in a market where like Dallas, Fort Worth, I would start there. Absolutely. What's that?
it's a good market. It's one of the few markets that
That's one of the markets that we have. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We're in San Antonio and Dallas, Fort Worth. So if you have, I would start there, get some deals there, get some leads going, submit them to us for us to call here live on the show. Submit us to us if you want us to help you move it. But let's do it. All right. Back to our regular program. What are they?
regularly scheduled,
back to our regular schedule program. Let's see. Let's try to get a hold of some sellers. Let's see who we got here next. David. All right, let's call David. Let's see. Looks like Brookie tried to call, but no answer. Property in Atlanta, Georgia. Hot Atlanta.
Yes, that's what I think.
Hot Atlanta. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Actually, before I make the call, I'm going to text Christine really quick, because I think it's time. I'm going to text her. Here we go. Okay. Here. What's going on here? It's not sending out. Interesting. Okay. Error sending. That is interesting. So, you know what? Okay. Almost there. All right. Let's send out. Finally. What is happening right now?
Resistance, because we're about to get a deal.
Let's go. I love that attitude. Yeah. All right. Here we go. Back to dialing. So who is this? David. See if Mr. David picks up. David in Hotlanta.
It's a super hot area.
So what?
Super hot area.
Okay. Perfect. That's what we want.
The person you're trying to reach is not available.
Come on, David. Come on, David. David. David, David.
To an automatic voice message system.
Sheesh. We're going to triple tap David. Triple tap him. Mhm. He's going to be like, what's going on?
Hello.
Hello, David. He hung up, but he answered. See? Oh, man. We got to call him back. Triple tap for the win.
Voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up.
Hey, David, it's Max. I was calling about North Rock Springs because, boom. All right. So left voicemail. Let's go to the next one. So it looks like Brooke. I don't know if she spoke to him or not. Benson, Arizona. Is there activity there? Brooke says there's not.
We can move something there.
Okay. So super rural.
So they're outside of Tucson.
Right. Maybe Tucson buyers. How far is it from Tucson again?
30-ish, right? It's not much further than that.
Man, let's go. Heather Fuller. Heather Fuller. All right, we're gonna double tap. Doom, doom, doom. Doom, doom, doom.
I see. They've got an extra digit in that house number. I think.
Oh, do they? Yeah, it looks like it.
Oh,
What is
I
that extra
did.
digit?
Okay.
So no answer, no voicemail. Doom, doom, doom. Doom, doom, doom. I'm going to put her on the sequence. I could not reach the seller. All right. We're going to do place on a follow-up sequence. Can't reach seller. All right, here we go. Complete action. Perfect. Ron, he's in Dallas. Let's go, Ron. Lalo, make sure that you connect with Ron so that way you can you guys can start doing some deals together. So there it is. Collaborate. Let's go. I love it. Trina, Nancy, me too. Laugh out loud. Abdul says you're too stiff, Alice.
Does he? Sorry, I'm a thinker.
I'm just kidding. He says, laugh out loud. People don't answer on 3 calls because they're motivated. It's because you're bothering them. Listen, if you want to have that mindset, you can. You know what I'm saying? That's what's going to stop you from really getting deals. Because while your mindset is I'm bothering these people, Max's mindset is no, I'm going after this deal. And then while you wait maybe 2 days to call them, I've called them 5 times already, and they're going to call me back because I'm being intense. You know what's crazy is never after, the hundreds and hundreds of deals that I've done, I've never had someone tell me like, hey, you're calling me too much. I've actually had people actually tell me the only reason why I went with you is because you kept blowing me up, right? You kept blowing me up. You kept following me up. You were the only one that did that. So, I mean, again, to each his own. I think, for me, it's like either you got to get on it. Sales is a slight edge while you sit around and wait because you think you're bothering them. You know what I mean? It's don't worry about it. Max will be right there to help you so I can call these leads. Drake, appreciate the fire emojis. Nancy says 3 calls. They think their house is on fire. Absolutely. Pick up the phone. RK said, what up, Alice? You know what RK is?
I don't know, RK.
Okay. Steven, appreciate the fire emojis. Let's go. All right. Let's go. Trina says, what do you think about Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area, Ellis?
Well, Pittsburgh, I think it's a market to do deals in. The market struggled a little over the last year. I just happened to have looked it up. It's down 7.7% year over year.
Should people not do wholesaling because of that, though?
No, it creates opportunity.
Got it.
Because somebody that purchased and that needs to sell in a short time frame, you'll still be able to set it up sub 2. Mm-hmm. But I like the Pittsburgh market. It's a large enough market that you're not going to run out of data. And I know a fantastic realtor there as well. If you get any innovations.
Let's go. Get out there and get a deal, Trina. Let us know. Precious said, I fumble over my words when I finally get them on the phone. Oh, let's see. Why don't I? It's weird because I'm not getting that message. She says Christine just responded. Let's see. Why don't I get the message? That's what I don't understand. Yeah, see? Not even here. So crazy. Oh. What happened? Calling you. What is this? Opportunities owned by Brooke. How do I? It's not ringing in my phone. See that? Oops. It's not now. It's not pulling up for me. Oh, there it goes. Okay, cool. All right. Okay, she just asked a question. What happened?
Brooke said it looks like we're dialing from her number.
No. Oh, wait. We are. How did that switched? Oops, sorry, Brookie. Yeah, we are. I don't even know how that happened. Let me switch this. All right, let me call her back. Let's see. All right, let's take a look here. I don't know.
I like the Pittsburgh market.
Mm-hmm.
I hope she does find some deals there. As I was calling some buyers for another deal we have,
Mhm.
They have purchased a couple hundred in the last 2 years.
Oh wow,
So
nice.
bring us some deals for them.
Yes, please do. Yeah, go. Let me send her. Yeah, because she's asking. I can't see the agreement from before. Why? Because you didn't want to sign it. That agreement's null and void. When you say you didn't want to sign it, so let me take a look real quick. See what's going on. Let's see. I'm gonna look it up real quick because I think this is it right here. Yeah, so because it's expired. All right, I'm gonna send her a message. I tried calling her, she didn't pick up. All right, let's see. All right, cool. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, I don't know why that switched, Brooke. I have no idea. She says on the other calls that I've been on have been under her number, but not Christine's. That's weird. I'm not sure what's going on.
Exciting things.
Cartier, the Grant Cardone spamming method. I have absolutely no idea. I'm not a fan of Grant Cardone, so I wouldn't do anything he says to do. Not sure what she means by that, or Cardi means by that. Sorry. Do you know what that means?
Is that Colin and Colin? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. Is it because we're calling multiple times? All right, let me get back to where we were. See if she responded. You can't see it because the offer expired. Okay, not yet. I want to leave that open just in case. Mm-mm-mm. Okay. And then I'm going to go back to opportunities so we can start dialing. Oh, is that her?
SMRT phone audio.
Hello, this is Max. Christine, can you hear me? Say that again.
You can hear me?
Yep, I can hear you now.
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep, loud and clear. What's going on, Christine?
All right. So I just spoke with the guy, and his offer's 42.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you said that you can't come up to that. But his offer also is, his offer's more but we would have to sell the property. We would have to show the property. I have 6 pit bulls.
Oh,
It's
wow.
kind of not feasible. Yeah, so it's kind of hard to do.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and go with the offer of 135K.
Okay. Got
and
it.
we can, if you could send that over to me,
Okay.
I'm going to take a look over it again, and we can get started on this.
Got it. So the only detail that I need before I get it over to my underwriting team is how many days were you wanting to stay after we closed escrow?
After we close, the day we closed, what, today, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, we closed today. Okay, so I need 10, 15 days at the most.
Okay. So then what I'll do is, just to be on the safe side, we'll do a post possession. That's the term of 15 calendar days. If you get out sooner, that's
Okay.
fine. If you get out, say, in 7 days or 10 days, it doesn't matter, but at least you get that 15-day buffer. And then
Right.
Once you leave the property, then the $10,000 that are in escrow, not with us, they'll get released to you. Okay.
Okay.
Perfect. Then I'll have my transaction coordinator, Gina. She's going to send you the paperwork with the new terms. So I just want to repeat this just to make sure. So 135,000 net to you. That's nothing out of pocket.
Yeah.
We're going to give you a 15-day, what's called a post possession, which means you stay after closing. We're going to hold back with the title company $10,000 that'll be released as soon as you move out. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay,
Sounds
perfect.
great.
So give me here in about 15, 30 minutes.
And the other, so what is 100, I had 135,000. You're holding back 10,000. So 125,000 will be released
Correct.
upon signing over, correct?
Correct. Yep. You're exactly right. Exactly right.
If I get it done today, it'll be done today.
Yeah. I mean, obviously we want to make sure,
Okay.
yeah. We got to have it signed today. So that way my underwriting team and my transaction coordinator can start working on it. So the
All
sooner.
right, get it written up.
Okay. Sounds good. Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, well,
Yeah. Bye. Let's go.
Got it.
Gotta work it. You see what I'm saying? So last week, again, I think our MAO was 135. I wish, I always wanted deeper, but from the numbers that Brooke wrote, 135 was our MAO on it. We hit her low too. We were like at 90, like 100. But all right. So then what I got to do is I got to get this move. Let's see. No, Brooke, she thinks she's going to sign today. That's what she was saying, Brooke. I already made it clear that she's not getting her money till 30 days on the previous call. So no, she's not think she's getting her money today. She needs to get it done today. Like that's the timeline we're looking for her to sign in order to start this. We can't wait any more days for her to sign. So so let me go into this here.
It's a good thing you didn't panic and offer more than her other.
Oh no, I
offer.
wasn't gonna offer more. Yeah, I was actually gonna end. So that's a great point that we need to talk about right now. Let me just move this over and get this over to Gina. Let me see. Gina, please. Yeah, that's a great point. Keep that. Remind me to talk about that here.
Yeah, that's the natural thing to want to do is to
Well, absolutely.
try to match it or beat it, but sometimes there's not even another real person there.
No, exactly.
And I'm not sure I didn't feel that way about the call where he, with a different seller that said he had 1.45 on the table.
Why
He had
not take it?
Right,
Yeah,
take
exactly.
it yesterday because your monthly payments on your mortgage are going to eat up the little bit of difference in the 1.45 and the 1.4. Not to mention, you told me you sell it for 1.3.
Exactly.
So
Sellers contradict, and I'm glad you're picking that up because sellers contradict themselves all the time, right? And you have to be able to pick up on that because that's fuel or bullets, if you want to call it that you want to use for when you are talking. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm confused. You got an offer for 1.45, but you're willing to take 1.3. Like, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, exactly. And for them, they just feel they're negotiating, or they're using it to negotiate. But
Yeah, of
they
course.
tell on themselves most of the
exactly.
time. Most of the time, if you talk long
Isn't that
enough.
funny that people do that? Is there any questions on the line?
Let's see. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Yeah, I thought she sounded like she thought she was getting money today too.
No.
So hopefully not.
No, what I told her, so what she made an example of, okay, if I give my money today, I got 10 days. It was the example of the
Oh,
post
she was
possession.
giving
Yeah,
the
yeah.
example.
Be right back. Yeah, she was giving the example of the post possession.
Mhm. Very cool. Let's see what I got. All right. Let's see if I can find you guys.
Yeah, it's nothing changed to the offer. All right, here we go. Where are we at here?
Perfect.
All right, here we go. I want to address some of these questions here. All right. Does Alice have a following? I'm not sure what that means. Do you have like an Instagram, maybe?
I do.
Oh,
Yeah.
got it.
I should prioritize it somewhat more.
You should,
but yes.
Yes, a deal. Right, that's right. Question. Has anyone called you back? I've heard you leave the message a lot and hung up. Why not add? I want to make an offer on the property. Ron, we talked about this. So why, if I left a message like that, why would people need to call me back? We want to create curiosity, like what's going on with the property, right? People have called back, but a lot of times I'm on the call. A lot of times the numbers are being, depending on who has the lead, it's being routed to like Brooke. So they are calling back. So we're getting about average, from all the voicemail, we're getting about 3 to 5 callbacks. I don't like to leave not even one detail why I'm calling, because the reason is if I leave a detail that says, hey, Alice, it's Max. I want to make an offer on your property. I want to make an offer cash as is. So call me back at, whatever, 480, whatever that is. So now the ball's in your court, right? You can decide when you're going to call Max back, compared to, hey, Alice, I'm calling you about 123 Main Street because click. Now your mind's like, wait, what happened? Hello?
Yep. Is there a leak? Yeah, what's going on?
Is there a leak? Exactly, right? Is there a leak? Is someone breaking into my house? Like, so we want to create that curiosity and have them call, right? So
yeah.
Let's see here. She thinks I already talked about that. Do you guys ever work with agents? I'm guessing no, because you never mentioned them, which is amazing. No. So everything we do for the most part here on the live is direct to seller. We have a Rusty in our office who makes offers to agents. So we do have somebody that does work with agents. But I'm assuming, Lalo, you're asking that for a reason. So let's see, dollars and cents says, whoops, Max, way to go. Oh, Max, way to go. It took a week, but this is where you got to relentlessly be following up. Most people, again, you can't give up. Like, you have to be relentless. Don't wait around, right? Like, you got to follow up. You got to make sure that you stay in front of them. Like, hey, I'm here. Right. So keep calling until you get them. Exactly. Trina Gomax. Richard says persistent works. Congrats, Don Max. I appreciate it. Max on fire. Appreciate it. Sounds like she thinks she's getting the 130. I think we addressed that question as well. She was making the example of the what is it called? Post possession. Yep. Trina, Alice, would you please share the realtor in Pittsburgh, PA, please?
I will.
Okay, she will. Boom. Appreciate it. Shout out to Mentor Alice. Hi, Alice and Max. There is no earnest money needed on this deal. No, you always want to make sure that you put earnest money on all your contracts. Earnest money validates the contract. We do a promissory note, so which means that we don't deposit earnest till after the what is it called, the inspection period. But you have to have earnest money in all your agreements. I don't know. I've seen some people do it without it, but the problem is like there'll be title companies that will accept your buyer's earnest. Like there's title companies that'll do that. Yeah. But I would not lean into that too much. And here's why. If something was to happen where you submit a contract, you don't deposit the earnest money, your buyer does, right, on the second leg, and then they use it. If something was to happen where the seller wants to back out, or you have to get use legal or whatever the case may be, if you don't have earnest money on your agreement, most likely than not, your agreement's not really valid in the eyes of a judge or in the eyes of somebody, right? Yeah. Title companies will tell you too, which is even funny. Like title companies will say, "Hey, we're okay. We could do that. We'll use the buyer's funds, for the EMD." Yeah. But when it's time to, when things go down and it's time to get down to the real deal, like the title company be like, "Hey, you didn't deposit the earnest." They'll throw their hands up and they'll wash their hands. I mean, you want to elaborate on your experience with that or your expertise?
Well, I know that I've talked to an attorney about it because so many people said, is it required? Mm-hmm. But I can tell you that there was a real estate scam going on in Atlanta about 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. And there were some investors that were finding deals wherever you're marketing them, Facebook. They were calling the title company that you noted you're closing with and asking if the earnest money was in for that file or that file was in. When the title company told them no, they were contacting the seller directly and saying, this home buyer is not legit. I just talked to the title company. There's no earnest money in. We'll put earnest money in right now if you want to do the deal with us.
Wow.
And so they had turned somebody I know, a couple of their deals upside down just by stirring up problems. So I think it's just a positive for the seller. I asked Ty to reach out and let the seller know the earnest money's been deposited because I think it builds confidence. And sometimes they'll sign and they're still a little shaky and wondering if you're legit and going to close. But once the title company calls and says, "Hey, Mr. Seller, we received your file and some earnest money. Yep. We just wanted to touch base, let you know where your contact at XYZ Title." So I think definitely deposit the earnest money and then use it to your credibility and have title reach out to the seller and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. I love that advice. And I appreciate you for sharing that example because it does happen. Again, I'd rather be in a position where I do, even if it's $100, like I've done, $100 on EMD and it's still, that's enough. Right. So yeah, it's very important to make sure that you understand that. Let's see.
Trina, share your email. I don't want to put her info up here without asking, but if you'll give me your email, I'll send it over to you.
Yeah. Cool. How do you share that info? Okay, perfect. Yeah, you just answered that one, I think. All right, who do we have next? So while we're working on that agreement to send out, I mostly called all these new ones here. Let's see. So let me do this. Go back to files. Let's call I'm going to see if we have any that are not contacted. Nope. New leads. Nope. Okay. in follow-up sequence. There we go. All right. So Omar, I think, was the one in Levine. We haven't been able to get a hold of him. April, I don't think I've called April. And oh yeah, I did actually. North Carolina, Texas, we called that one. David didn't answer. Benson, Arizona, we called that one. Durham, we haven't called that one yet. Hattie, let's call Hattie and Durham. I like North Carolina. North Carolina is one of my, I love that market.
That's good.
All right, let's see. All right, 919949. That is interesting that I can't find her on my. Oops. So I'm wondering, those people that quote unquote offered her 142. Again, oh, that's right. And before I start, I reminded myself about that. So when you have a seller like the one I just had right now, right? She says she was having somebody go over there, somebody that offered her 140, 142 over the phone, which always, you know what I mean? It's like, you got to be careful with that, right? Because at the end of the day, we don't know if that's true or not. Supposedly he was there when I called her, walking the property. But let's say it's true, right? Let's say it's true, and they do offer the 142. And now, let's say her next question was going to be, can you do the 142, right? But how would some of you handle that? Like, I want to see in the chat right now, those are you. It doesn't matter if you're new. It doesn't matter if you've done a deal. How would you handle if she would have said, what would you, could you do the 142? I want to see, and I want to get an idea of who is prepared. And there's no right or wrong answer here, by the way. Okay. Because that's a, I call that a Russian roulette. Like, that can go anyway. Doesn't matter what you say. But I mean, it does matter what you say because it'll position you a little bit different. But I want to know in the chat, what would you have done if she would have said, hey, could you do 142? If you do 142, like they're offering, I would move forward with you. So I want to see in the chat, what would you say and what would you do if you were in that position? If she was to put you in that position, if let's say she would have said, let's do the 142. And so, okay, Jolene, perfect. Appreciate the answer. I'm going to show the answers right now on the screen, but I want to know, come on, there's got to be more people than Jolene. So, who else? What would you say if she would have said, hey, you know what? If you can do the 142, I would move forward to you. Can you do the 142? Let's say she would ask me that. Here we go. All right, Jolene, I'm gonna start you. She said, I would do the 142 if you signed today. Woo, man, that's fast. All right, got it. Thank you, Coach Alice. Wow. Says Jolene Hopkins, if not, I would move on. Okay, I appreciate it. Precious, let's see your answer. I would have asked, what was the terms of them giving them the price so we can negotiate? Okay, I like that. I mean, again, there's no right or wrong answer here, but definitely, I love that. Derek, my guy Derek Watts says, I'm not sure. I would have to run that by my underwriting team. Hey, yay. I love that answer so far.
Higher authority.
Yeah, a higher authority. Exactly. I love that. Nancy said, if they are a better fit for you, then go ahead, go with them. I'm sure. If they're a better fit for you, then go ahead, go with them. I'm offering a sure bet right now. Okay. I like that. Let's see. Richard says, my MAO was 135. That's it. Otherwise, why would I create an MAO? Okay. So a lot of these answers, there's no right or wrong answers, but there's answers that I'm seeing in here. Like, for example, you don't want to be too quick to pull the trigger. Okay, I'll give you the 142, right? If you sign today.
What happens if you do that? Then that means tomorrow they're going to say,
exactly.
Actually, I talked to my husband and he wants 145.
Exactly. So let me give you an example of that, a visual example of that. You have a rope, right? They have a rope, right? So guess what? As soon as you say, like, all right, if I give you the 142, will you sign today? Somehow, some way, magically, the rope ends up getting more length, right? And they're saying they're going to come back. What are they going to want next after that? The second one is, don't get into don't get into a battle with them, right? Hey, that's my number. That's it. And if take it or leave it. If not, that's it. Like we're not doing any deal here. So I love the higher authority. That's always a good default. Like, look, I don't know if we can do the 142. Honestly, we pushed this thing hard, but it doesn't hurt to ask.
Because I like you and I want
Exactly.
to work with you. But
Exactly, because I feel like you're comfortable with me, and I feel like there's trust in this conversation.
Yeah.
However, here's where I would tie down the commitment.
Yes.
This is what I would do. Is I would say, look, I don't know. Let me talk to my underwriting team if they can do the 142. I know I push and I fought for the 135. If I go to my underwriting team and they can't do the 142, what would happen next? And I'm going to put the ball back in her court so she can tell me she's going to walk away from the 135, right? I'm going to go talk to my underwriting team. I don't know if I can do the 142, but I am going to go talk to them because, obviously they're the ones that are going to determine whether they want to do this or not up to 142. However, though, is I want to know where you and I are at. If they can't do the 142, what happens next? Right. So all I'm doing is I'm looping it and I'm giving it back and I'm putting it back in the court of the seller, because now she's got to think, am I ready to walk away from the 135? You know what I mean? Because they're not going to be able to do the 142. You see the position and the leverage that you still have. That's where you want to be. That's where you want to be. Right. What is she going to say? She's going to walk away from 135. Well, if you can't do the 142, she already told me, right? Like, hey, they want to do showings. I got a bunch of pit bulls. I can't do that. All this stuff, right? So again, understanding that, using the higher authority to your advantage, and then tying them down to the commitment that if you can't get the 142, that they're ready to move to the 135, right? It's always good to know that, understand that you don't want to be too fast to the trigger because you've made it too easy. You don't want to argue with them. You don't want to go back and forth. Well, no, that's my offer. You got to take it or not. Like, you want to bring them in as like, hey, let's work together. I don't know. I can check with my underwriting team. We've been working at this pretty far. We build trust. However, I want to let you know there's a possibility that they're not going to do it.
But you've positioned yourself as being on their team. We'll see what they're going to do.
Exactly.
Let's just work through it, but let's see what they say, and then we will figure it out. And that's the reason you want that higher authority.
Exactly.
I've heard some people say, I don't want someone to think I'm not the decision maker. I don't want someone to think I'm the peon. But that really is what we want them to feel, is that you're not the ultimate decision maker. You're just gathering all the information so your company can make an educated decision.
Exactly. And you know what's crazy is, I think the problem with that, and I know where you're coming from on that, because there are people that say, well, I don't like to say, I got to check with my partner, my underwriting team, because they don't establish it early. That makes sense. So if you notice early in the call, I'm establishing that in the first in the intro. I'm like, look, I'm calling you because, we got the notes. Obviously, the notes don't always tell the whole story. What I like to do is just follow through on that information, and then give that information to my underwriting team to see if they qualify the property for an offer. I am establishing that from the beginning. I am a data gatherer. I am just gathering information. And then at the end of the day, they're going to make the offer, right? And it's great. And I don't like using finance manager. I've never loved that, the finance department. Scary. It just sounds like a car salesman, right? Like how many, tell me, do you love going through the finance department at a car dealership? Exactly. Who wants to sit there for 4 hours? And that's the mental picture that you give them when you say, I got to talk to my finance department or my finance manager. But however, if they have a house that you're buying, if they have a property that you're buying, guess what? They understand underwriting. Why? Because they've been through underwriting already, right? It's a whole different ballgame. Underwriting is the one, it's the lender. It's the one that's, that's putting the deal together. They're going to say yes or no, you qualify or not. So that's why I like to use that, right? And I established that from the beginning. Just because, again, you want to make sure that you are putting yourself in a position where you can always default back. Like, I don't know. Right. Same thing we were saying is, I don't know if we can do that. That's going to be something that I could check with my underwriting team. And it also helps to really let them know and understand that you're willing to at least do something, right?
To work on them.
Yeah, to work with them. So great stuff. But yeah, I appreciate all your answers. I mean, like I said, we're all learning here. Again, you want to make sure that you don't giving too easy, and you want to make sure that you don't battle with them. You don't want to start throwing punches, especially at this stage of the game, right? The last thing you want to do, and I always say this, Alice, with in my training when it comes to building bonding rapport, you have to continuously be building rapport with your sellers through every phase of the sale. Most sales training and most just sales in general has, you ever see the scripts and it says rapport and then they forget about it?
Yeah.
Right? You have to, building rapport is a continuous job for you. You have to understand that, because at any point given time, new information can be presented, or you can actually ruin the sale by presenting new information that the seller does not feel like they're comfortable with, right? Yeah. So building rapport is a continuous thing, even up to the point where we're just talking about, right? Like, I have to continue building that rapport with her. I have to let her know, like, hey, I don't know if I can do that, but listen, let me check with my underwriting team. I mean, they might be flexible. I don't know. Let me check with them. However, if they say no, what happens next if they do say no, that they can't do the 142 and they're pretty much at the 135?
Sounds a lot better than you just saying no.
Exactly.
At least you tried.
Yeah, and then they got to answer that, right? They either got to tell me, well, 130, it's 142 or nothing, and now I know, right? Or you know what, I get it. Just try, and if not, we're gonna go with the 135, whatever the case may be. So, cool. All right, let's see. We call Hattie. I don't think Hattie answered, I believe, or I think we were gonna call Hattie. Let me check. Yeah, we were gonna call Hattie. All right, let's call Hattie. This thing keeps disconnecting. I don't know why. Let me check to make sure I want to call. I can't hear it. That means it's not connected. Let me see. It says connected. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
There it goes. Oh, there it goes. Okay, cool. Perfect. So let's hang up. All right. Let's go back. Here we go. Hattie is a deal. We need a deal in Durham.
Durham, if you're from the South.
To an automatic voice message system. 919949.
What is it? Durham. Are you from Durham? No, I'm from Durham. Durham.
Hello?
Hello, Hattie.
Who's calling?
Hey, Hattie, my name is Max. I'm calling you because you had spoken to Homelight about potentially selling that property over at Marsh Court.
Correct.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you for confirming that. So I got the information forwarded by them, and I wanted to go over some notes and ask you a few questions to see if we can qualify the property for an offer. Is that fair?
Okay.
I appreciate that. Thank you. And I don't know if you heard, but my name is Max, by the way. So really quick, can you verify for me the bedroom and bathroom count?
3 bedroom, 2 bath.
Okay, perfect. 3 bedroom, 2 bathrooms. And excuse me as I repeat it, I'm writing stuff down here so I don't have to ask you those same questions again, okay? All right, let me see. And then one of the things I'm not too clear on is this property, is this a rental property for you, or is this like your primary residence?
Rental.
Okay, perfect. Rental property. Okay. And in regards to the occupancy, is it vacant or occupied?
Vacant.
It's vacant. Okay. And then do you recall like how long it's been vacant, the property?
About 3 months.
3 months. Okay, got it. All right. Perfect. Okay. Perfect. And then one of the questions I like to ask, just to make sure that I'm answering everybody's question, that need to be answered, is there anyone else that's going to have an input on the sale of the property when you decide to sell this?
No,
No, okay. Just yourself.
just myself.
Okay, I appreciate that. And then out of curiosity, just ballpark, like how long have you owned this property?
I bought that house in 1994.
Okay,
I
1990.
believe it was. Yeah, 1994.
19 Got it. Okay, 1994. Wow, you've owned this thing for quite a while. Congratulations. What has you considering selling it after this long of a time?
Excuse me.
I said you've owned this.
My husband died. My husband died at 56 years old and left me here by myself.
Oh,
And so I'm not going back in that house. I moved and left that house after he died. I've been gone almost about 4 or 5 years. I'm not going back in there. He had the nerve to die at 56 in me. And I just recently retired.
yeah.
And so I'm not interested in doing anything hard, young man.
I get
I've
it.
been a registered nurse for 44 years.
Mm-hmm.
I worked throughout COVID.
Okay.
I'm not interested in sitting on any boards, committees, teachers. I got a bunch of alphabets behind my name.
Yeah.
But those degrees are up in the closet. That has nothing to do with what I'm doing these days.
Got it. Okay.
So
Well,
I'm done.
well, sorry to hear that about your husband. And, I know you got a good, it sounds to me like you're at a point now where you're got a good sense of humor. You got some great accolades. Congratulations. That's amazing. 40 years as a nurse. That's a long time.
44.
Oh, 44. Excuse
44.
me. Woo-wee. Yeah.
And I still have an active license. I can't get them up. I work too hard for them. I got them back in 1980 almost. Yeah. No, I work too hard for them licenses. I'm not giving them up. I just take the continuing air credit for the 2 years to keep my license as long as I can talk.
Got it. No, well, good for you. I mean, that's quite an accomplishment, and sounds to me like it's more than needed, to move to the next phase. And it sounds like you have in some sort, but this is ultimately the lasting. That's kind of the last, thing that is attaching for moving on. It sounds like.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll appreciate that. What I know the property's been vacant for 3 months. What have you recently tried to do about selling the property since then?
Oh, I just decided I was going to sell it this year because I don't want to be on my taxes for the past year.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why. Yeah. After considering, what the tax is going to be on that, if I make a profit and all this and all that. So that's why I didn't do anything prior to J1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Makes sense. Well, yeah, because if you would have sold it, prior, you definitely would have been dealing with that right now. So that makes a lot of sense as far as, but you haven't had anybody. Yeah. You haven't had anybody come in and, make an offer or talk to anybody as far as regards to selling, trying to do anything about that because of, waiting for the January 1st.
I've spoken to several companies.
Okay. Got it. But nothing, no offers on the table or anything like that, it sounds like?
Not at this point.
Okay, I see. Perfect. And that's all right. Just trying to see if you had any activity, but good for you. Makes sense. Now, I do want to share with you, I definitely want to get this info over to my underwriting team. And can I just share with you a little bit about how the rest of the call goes from here on?
Okay, so FYI, I'm looking for a cash offer. I'm
Sure.
not going through appraisals and this and this and this and this.
Yep.
So in addition to this being the next stage of my life, I don't do anything hard. I don't do anything difficult. I've written enough policies. I edited enough journal articles, gotten published enough times that I am not.
You're in the right place. Let's go.
Take any of the more brain cells and RAM out of my brain.
Got it.
So I don't do anything hard, and I don't do anything fast. I take my time. I'm done.
Makes sense. I think you and I are gonna get along really well, Hattie, if we decide to, this works for you as it does for us, because, at the end of the day, I think this business should be easy. I think it's people that make it difficult. We don't typically buy properties from everyone we talk to, but in order for me to find out if this is one where we could go and buy it, then I do need to get just a little bit of information. But one of the things is what's great about this is we've had other sellers tell us similar things, not the same, right? Where they do want to go more the convenient route. And that's really what I'm hearing what I'm hearing from you right now is you want to go the convenient route.
Yep, the convenient route.
Got it. Okay. Makes sense. So, let me ask you a few questions, that way I can start having my underwriting team work on this. So if you were, because I know, obviously one question is, how soon do you feel comfortable selling if you did identify somebody you want to work with, you like the offer and everything they had to say?
Soon as possible.
Soon as possible?
Yeah. I don't, I'm just done with it. I need to move on.
Okay. So I know in the past when someone says soon as possible, are we talking 30, around 30 days, around 60 days? What does that mean? Soon as possible?
30 days.
Okay. Got it. Perfect. I appreciate that. And then one of the things I do want to ask you, can you, because the pictures that I have here online, they're not very, obviously they're cut. There's a lot of trees, which is great. Can you walk, as far as what you can remember, what the property looks like? Can you just tell me a little bit about the property, walking from the outside in and what it has and things like that? Just so I can get a little bit familiar with the condition.
When you walk in, it's we call a great room.
Mm-hmm.
And it's open. It opens huge. Open. I guess call it it's an open floor plan because when you walk in, there's a coat closet right there, and the stairs going upstairs to the two dormers are right there on the left. If you walk in, it's a great room, and there's open. It's really open, going straight into a country kitchen.
Okay.
And then to the left is the kitchen. And unfortunately, there's a bathroom over there too. And it's just the first floor master is over there also to the left.
Okay.
So the master's on the first floor. And also when you walk in, if you look to the right there's a little room to the right there. I don't know what they thought. I mean, we used it as a den, sort of a family room den. And then it became an office and I was working from home sometimes when but yeah, that's what we use, that room to that little room to the right. Used it mainly as a den. We had a huge TV in there and all of it. That house was the gathering house for the kids and neighborhood.
Got it.
And
okay.
So there's a deck out back, and upstairs there's two dormers, right and left, and there's a bathroom in between the two dormers. It's sort of a little landing in between the two of them. And that's it.
Okay. Got it. Okay. Sounds like a really good layout, which is always a good thing for a property, especially when, either you're trying to rehab it or doing the repairs. So, I know the tenants have not, they moved out 3 months ago, but how long were the tenants in there, before that?
About 4 years.
Oh, okay. Wow. So that's a long time. They must have been great tenants, it sounds like.
They're okay.
Well, I say great. I didn't say perfect. I mean, for them to stay, 4 years. So then, since they were there, obviously for 4 years, when it comes to the paint and the flooring, did that ever get updated at all?
No, I'm not interested in putting any money into that place.
Perfect.
It's as is. Take it or leave it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not take it or leave it. It's as is. That's the way it's going to be sold. And,
Yep. Okay. Got it.
Yeah. So
that makes sense.
I mean, I understand all these questions, but I don't know what you're trying to get to in reference to asking me all these questions. I'm looking for a cash offer as is. It needs to be rehabbed and renovated. It's probably, I think, about $60,000 to $65,000 worth of renovation because you're gonna need to get the kitchen.
Okay.
And it needs a new roof. It needs new HVAC. I'm letting you know that.
Perfect.
And
that's
so,
what I need. Yeah, that's what I need.
The floors are in good shape. And so right now, currently, there is a house in that development that's under contract for being sold that was rehabbed. And it has less square feet than mine, and it is being sold for $299,000. That's what's being sold. So I don't know how much they got for it. So I anticipate once that house is rehabbed, because it's being in Durham,
pretty sad,
and within 15 minutes of downtown Durham, where all the action's going on. I grew up in Durham, Peter, the context, so I've seen what's happening, and I know what's happening in Durham.
Sure.
I grew up there.
Yep.
I worked there for the past. That's the only place I've ever worked was Durham.
Okay.
So I commuted my last 5 years back and forth. So I know what the rate is, and I know what's going on in Durham. I know, hey, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just, I've done my research, I've done my homework, and that might have something to do with me having all them alphabets behind my name, you think?
I believe so. I believe so. Again, I love that you have all this information and you're looking into the market. And, I know earlier you mentioned something about why these questionings. And again, because I do want to make sure that the offer that I come up with is an offer you can depend on. We're not looking to list the property. We're not looking to, ask you to make any repairs. We're not looking for any credits. Ultimately, I want to have my underwriting team come up with an offer that you can depend on and that's net to you without you having to really do anything, right? And so this information here helps them.
Okay, there's not a second mortgage on it. So there is the first mortgage is still there, and there's a balance of $52,000. And then there is a one lien for $10,000. So I estimate it's about $62,000 that will come off the top of whatever the offer is.
Got it. Okay. Got it. And I'm writing that down, so just bear with me. That way I can have that info. What was the mortgage again? The mortgage balance one more time. I'm sorry.
Approximately $52,000.
52,000. 52.
Yeah, 52.
52. Okay, got it. All right,
yeah.
Perfect. Okay, and then I mean, you've answered quite a bit of the condition questions. What I like to do is I want to get this information over to my underwriting team really quick. Can I place you on hold for like 60 seconds?
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Miss Hattie. All right. What do we got?
I like this one.
Okay.
We still don't know her exact price.
Yeah, I know. We're gonna
but
find
her
out.
repairs are the right ballpark.
Okay.
And what she's saying is my neighbor's house is pending at $299, and it's a little smaller.
Okay.
I see 340, probably 350 ARV.
Okay.
There's some new construction at 390, and so it's definitely not much more than that. There's some new construction in the area. Hot area.
Is this new construction? This one for 359? 3-bedroom, 2-bath?
Let me see. That's from 22.
Yeah, that is. Okay, that's new construction. Got it. What?
Change your date. That's to last 12 months. And then we should, or 6 months or whatever.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Yeah. So we're a little
14,
bigger. We're 1,500
Yep, we're a little bigger. So this one sold for $929. It sold for $316. And then here's this one for $300, 1,200 square foot. Where are we at? We're at 1,500. A little smaller. What did you have down? 350?
I think it's 340, 350.
Yeah, 340 sounds. I want to be more on the conservative side.
And 340.
Yeah, 340. Let's see here. Here we go. All right. So what is our MAO based on that? 340.
238. It didn't change it very much.
No, just by a few.
238 minus 60. 238 minus 60,000 and renovation, because she's probably very close to correct on that.
Mhm.
That's 178 minus 10. This puts us at 168 if we're looking for a 10K
Okay.
assignment.
So MAO would be 168.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. I'll make
Yep.
the offer lower than that.
168.
Okay.
Are you going to wait and let her tell you?
Yeah. Yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
Hello, Miss Hattie, you there?
I am.
Okay, I apologize for the wait. I knew I said 60 seconds, but they were asking me a lot of questions, and obviously, all the information you gave me is going to greatly help for them to for them to be able to come up with an offer. I did want to ask you one more thing. I know while they're doing that, I know in the past, obviously, sellers that we've spoken with, and obviously they start thinking about selling. Typically the day they do start thinking about selling, they usually have a number in mind when it comes to selling the property. Just ballpark, out of curiosity, what were you looking to get for it, knowing you didn't have to do
You
anything?
tell me what your offer. You tell me your best offer.
Okay, yeah, and they're working on that right now. I just wanted to see if you had a price in mind, just because one of the things that I like to do is make sure that if they're way too far off, like I just want to let them know, like, hey, forget about it. This is not a trend. This is something that we're going to be way too far off. So I don't know if you had somewhat ballpark in mind on what you would consider getting for the property, because, like I said, typically.
Well,
so,
how much you think? How much you think it'll sell for? How much you think it'll sell for once they rehab it?
That's a really great question. Yeah. I think that's a really great question, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you were to do all the work, right? If you were, bring it up to what I call 2024 standards, because that's the year we're in, and you were to basically, do all the repairs that you mentioned, then you have your, obviously you can get it up to somewhere between, I would say, 315 to 325, maybe a little bit more, just to be conservative, because we don't know what the market's going to do. But that's if you invest the 60,000 plus, you gotta pay your closing costs and realtor fees, all that stuff as well. So, but as far as just what we could list it for would be somewhere around there after you make the repairs. But that doesn't mean that's where we're going to get, right? At the end of the day, it's what the market's willing to pay for.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what the market.
Exactly.
Yeah. But obviously we have to get it there, right? I think we have to get it there in order to do that. That's why I was just asking if you had an idea of what you would want to get if you didn't have to do anything and it was a net offer to you, nothing out of pocket, what you would feel comfortable selling it for.
I'll wait and see what they come up with. Okay. And I'll either say yes or no.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
And they're working on that right now. She said she's almost done. I know what I can tell you is, if they do come, are you looking to get closer to what the market value is, like 300,000? Is that kind of where you want to be, around that ballpark?
No. That place needs to be rehab.
I understand. Okay. Got it. Okay.
I mean, you have to make, you guys are in the business of making a profit. I understand that. You're in the business of making a profit.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, hey, it's all about the business. That's the way I was on my job. I would tell my staff, I had a staff of over 110.
Wow.
I used to tell myself, it's not personal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I stood at the executive level. I said, it's not personal, it's business.
That's it.
And they said, I didn't understand that.
Yeah.
And that's the only way I could be effective in my position.
Got it. No, that's it. And it's so true, right? And I really appreciate it. I really appreciate that you understand that it's a fresh air, a breath of fresh air, to really hear somebody say that, because at the end of the day, it's true. I mean, and I'm very transparent in everything that I do, but I love that. So, I'm in business. Exactly. So let me go ahead and Ms. Hattie there. I got Alice. She's actually calling me. Let me go ahead and speak with her really quick. Okay. Let me place you on hold. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. She's a tough cookie. Woo-wee. So we know she doesn't want to be as close as. I was gonna anchor at 150, but let me guess. What happens if they do come back lower than the 150? What would happen? But I guess I should anchor that range to see where she's at.
She already acknowledges there's 60 in work, so
Yeah.
we're already ahead of most seller
Yeah,
situations.
we are.
So, and there's got to be some holding cost, and
Well,
I feel like
already established.
she's
that, right?
and she's very logical. So I feel like
Deal or no
she's usually
deal.
emotional, but I feel like she's logical on this one.
Yeah, deal or no deal. Pete says this is good. We're about to find out, Pete. We're about to find out. So, all right, here we go. So I'm gonna anchor her low. So 168 is our MAO.
Yes.
I want to say, let me write down this number or write this number down. I'm going to tell her they came back higher. So they want to be at 152, $553. Okay.
153,
Yep.
553.
Hello, Miss Hattie, you there?
I am.
All right. Sorry about that. So basically my underwriting team just put an offer, a 10-10 offer together for you. They did come back a lot higher than I thought they were. I thought they were going to be really low on this offer, but obviously looking at what, the estimated repair costs, holding costs. So this is what it basically entails everything that we have to do to get the property up to 2024 standards. And that offer that they came back with to where it's net to you, you don't have to pay anything out of pocket. You don't got to lift a finger, to do anything to the property as well, was $152,553.
So what they estimate for the repair?
I'm sorry, ask that one more time.
So what's their estimate for the repairs they put on there?
Sure. They're estimated about, I think, anywhere between 45 to 55,000, excuse me.
Okay. I don't think so. I'm going to defer on that offer. I appreciate the opportunity that you called me.
Yeah, of course. So
I'm going to defer. I'm going to defer.
Can I ask you just one more question? So it sounds to me like that's too low. How close could you be to that? I'm sorry. Okay. So how close could you be to that? Where would you feel comfortable?
That's too low because so you're saying net to me, I still got to pay $52,000 for a mortgage out of that, and the $10,000 for the. So we're talking about approximately $52,000 coming out of 152. That only leaves you with a base of maybe 90.
Got it. And what were you hoping to walk away with after the sale? After you pay the mortgage, after you pay the lien on the property, what was your number that you were hoping to walk away with?
105 to 110 is what it is.
Okay, 105 to 110. Got it.
Does it need new windows?
So, my underwriting team just asked me right now. Does it need new windows that you're aware of?
It doesn't need new windows in the front, or the bathroom downstairs, or one of the bedrooms upstairs on the left, on the dorm.
Got it. Okay, so you're wanting to, from what the offer that I have now. So it sounds like the $15,000 more is where you would want to be at to be able to net the 110, correct?
That's right.
Or 25, excuse me, because right now you're netting 90. So with the offer we have on the table, so basically 25 more.
I said 105 to 110.
Oh, got it. 105 to 110. Okay, got it. Okay. So let me. Can I place you on hold and let them know that and see what they, what they think of that, and then that way, we can know if basically.
And so they're saying.
Go ahead.
So they're estimating the rehab to be about between 45 and 50,000.
Oh, plus the roof. Sorry, that's the one thing that they didn't have on there. They haven't checked on that. They got to get the quote for that. So that's just on everything else.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
So the 45 to 55,000 is everything else, but they're leaving a little bit of a buffer. So they're thinking it might shoot up all the way to 60. Just depends on what the roof cost is going to come in at, right, to replace the roof.
Yeah, so I told you it needs a roof and an HVAC. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Like,
and you're gonna have to.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You're gonna have to direct that kitchen, and a kitchen's gonna run you 12 to 15, depending on how you do it.
Yep, exactly. Yep. So that's why they
I
got it. Okay. Well, give me 1 second.
That's my homework.
Of course. Give me 1 second. Okay, Miss Hattie, let me go talk to Alice and let her know where you're at, and then I'll come back and let you know if that's something that's doable. Okay, bear with me.
All right.
Is that your number?
Huh?
She's at your number.
She is.
We were at 168 MAO and you had anchored her at 152 and she wants 15 more. So guess how much that equals? 167, 500 right there.
167.
Yeah, that puts us right. If you add 15 and then our MAO with 340 ARV was 168.
Okay.
So we took ARV times 70%, which is a 30% investor discount. It left us 238. We subtracted out 60 in repairs. It put us at 178 minus 10,000 assignment fee is 168 MAO. He anchored the seller low at 152 and she's countered essentially at MAO. So let's see where it goes.
So that's, but again, and I love the area. It is Durham. It's Durham, North Carolina.
It's a good, strong area. It is.
So I think we might be able to get a little bit more for it.
Right. I think, yeah. Run your numbers conservative, and on the back end, maybe when you market it to the end buyers, put that extra 10 on there.
All right, cool. Here we go. Hello, Miss Hattie.
Yes.
Okay, got it. All right. So I talked to Alice. Obviously, just she mentioned the roof because we don't have a quote for that yet. But one of the things that they did want to, they obviously understand the situation, and you don't want to do anything to the property. And I know that you want to pay off the mortgage and also the lien that you have on there, and you want to be, closer to netting that number. What they had mentioned to me, in regards to getting close to that number, they would feel comfortable doing something like that if you would be open to putting everything in writing with the offer. So they're willing to go up to your number if you feel comfortable putting everything in writing today.
And so what's that number they came up with?
Give me 1 second here. I put it down. So it was 167, 553, excuse me. And that'll net you 105,000 to walk away with.
Okay, so you guys need to come out and examine the property, right?
Yeah. So what we do is we typically will, once we put this, once we get this going and we get the process started, we have a few partners that will go out to the property, but one of the things that we want to do is to make sure that, we obviously want to show commitment to you, and just like you would show commitment to us, we don't want to get the process started by putting things in writing, and then we get the partners to come out and walk the property and, take pictures and all that for us. But they feel comfortable coming up to the 167, 553. And like I said, as long as you're ready to put stuff in writing today.
Well, I'm not ready to put anything in writing today. I have to talk to my sister. Even though she doesn't have any,
okay.
Questions do you think she
yeah.
Got it. Okay.
The two of us now that are living, and so
got it.
She owns her property. She lives in Durham and owns her property as well. She owns properties in Durham too. She owns her own house in Durham. Yes.
Oh, got it. Okay.
But she's not interested in selling. She's not interested in selling. She lives in her house.
So one of the things, and that's okay, right? So it sounds to me like she
lives 8 minutes from downtown Durham.
Wow. Okay. Got it. So it sounds to me like the offer, you feel comfortable with the offer. We just gotta, you want to talk to your sister, which is fine. Obviously I've had, sellers in the past that, want to consult with someone. And obviously we don't want to put everything in writing until we're definitely sure.
Right.
One of the things that I want to do that I've had happen in the past, and with your permission, and I don't know if it's needed because I know you're the sole owner of the property, is I love to, do a phone call with both of you. And, basically, if there's any questions, I love to answer the questions, how our process works and all that, because I know a lot of times when, you consult or talk to someone else and there's questions, a lot of times people get embarrassed or they don't want to ask the questions, and I just want to make sure that doesn't happen here.
I understand. So she's still working.
Okay.
So it would have to probably be, are you available on the weekend?
I am available on the weekends. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it will probably have to be, I don't have anything scheduled for Saturday. For Saturday's my stay at home day. I don't go to the gym. I work out at home. Okay, so maybe Saturday afternoon
Okay.
would be best.
Saturday afternoon
because she's a manager.
Got it.
Yeah, maybe around 3:00.
Okay.
Because she's a manager in her job, kind of high stress, and by the time she gets off, she's not.
Yeah.
She's not even. Yeah.
No problem. And and again, I definitely, I'll put that down. I'll put it on my calendar. That way I can talk to both of you. And then, would I just call you?
Yeah.
Just call you and she'll be there at your house, or are we gonna three-way her in? You'll give me the number once we call on Saturday.
We'll three-way her in.
We'll three-way her in. Okay. That works as well for me too. So
yeah.
And on the other hand, if you do end up talking to her for any reason about this, and you obviously can work it out, I get it. Sometimes you can, but I prefer to be there, and that way I can answer both of your concerns, and there's no worry about trying to get a hold of me and stuff. But I did put it on my calendar for Saturday. I'm sorry.
Again, Matt, what is the name of your company?
So you fill out the information with HomeLight, and our company is called Sell Quick for Cash. And we're a partner. We're a partner of HomeLight that we buy properties with.
Okay, I'm sure you bought a lot of properties in Durham.
Sure. Yeah, that's one of our markets. We only buy in 4 markets: North Carolina, Georgia, Texas, and Arizona. Yeah.
Yep, I know that's right. I mean, up and coming, Google, Apple, why not? Hey, I mean that. The apartments down the street from where I work, the ones they put up in no time. I mean, they got a 1-bedroom loft renting for $1,800 a month. $1,800 a month. I mean, they got it going in.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, that makes sense.
I'm very familiar with them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I grew up there. Again, I tell you, I've seen the changes.
Yeah. For some reason, we've been able to buy a lot of properties in Fayetteville, Durham, some properties, but Fayetteville is really good for us for rentals. But all right. So Saturday, I got you down for Saturday. But besides the offer, is there any other, because you sound like you're comfortable with the offer, but besides the offer, there'll just be other things to talk about as far as making the decision to sell? The offer, we're good with the offer then?
No. Yeah, I'm good with it. You said 167
553.
5 what now?
553.
553. Yeah. 553. I'm good with the offer.
Okay. Perfect. Then I have you down for Saturday to call you on Saturday along with your sister. What's your sister's name, by the way?
Ann, A-N-N.
Ann. Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to speaking with you, Miss Hattie, and also with Miss Ann. Okay.
Okay. All right. We'll speak then. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great rest of your week. Bye-bye now.
And you too.
Ooh-wee. I wanted to push, but I'm like, no, I better back up.
She might have flogged you.
Yeah, she would have.
She was pretty.
She was very meticulous, she's pretty savvy, but overall, good stuff. Let's go. Give me some fire emojis, drop some thumbs up. Let's go. Offer accepted. We just got to lock it up, bring it in. I think it's going to be a great call.
It is.
Yeah. So this is, again, the ending. We got the outcome we wanted. Honestly, what I wanted the contract, yes, but we want to make sure that, remember, we want them to buy your solution. We don't want them to surrender to your solution. So, again, I think this is going to be, it's a great deal for, 340, 350 ARV. We're buying it at 167 in North Carolina. Like, get out of here.
Not super rural, in a good market.
Yeah, in a good market. And it's a nice house in a cul-de-sac, and it's got trees and all that stuff. So now we just got to see what the sister says. There's one thing that I left out that I want you guys to know is when you do have this type of situation, I like to ask this question, which is, hey, let's pretend that you do talk to your sister before Saturday. If she asks you, how much do you trust Max? What would you say to her?
That's such a brave question.
No, but it's true because you know what I mean? Because sometimes that can happen, right? It could happen before the phone call. And they don't have to give you an answer like, oh, I trust Max and I love Max. Well, I would say, hey, I had a great conversation. That's what you want to hear, right? Listen, I'm not here to say that, you now know me personally or this and that. We're just here to say, I'm just here to ask, you know what I mean? That you had a good conversation and you're what do you call it? That, we built some trust there. So buy your solution, not surrender to your solution. Exactly, Brooke. I love it. That's what I'm saying. You want them to buy your solution. So, man.
So, Max,
go ahead.
Can you take just a couple minutes and tell me why you didn't come right out the gate and say, how much do you want? Okay, we can do that. Like, because you could have, but I know that you on purpose. Mm-hmm. So why did you do that? Tell the audience.
Well, a couple of reasons. I mean, that's that's like a whole lesson in itself. But I think the biggest reason is at the end of the day, you want them to feel like they're creating the solution with you, right? It's a game. Listen, I've been saying this all last week that sellers love to play the game, and the more you're able to play the game, and the more you're able to understand, that sellers love to play this game, and you don't give in too fast because then it's going to be very, very quick. They're going to feel like, oh man, did I leave money on the table? Oh man, I probably could have just waited and shopped it up for more, right? So you got to remember those things is that's one phase of it. The other thing too is I really want to see where she's at. Where's her real number at? What is her thought? Just example, right? She told us that she needed to pay. She wanted to walk away with 105. Yep. So that's a really good master call to go back to because especially in that questioning, right? Well, how much do you want to walk away with after you pay the mortgage? After this, she's like, I want to walk away with 105, 210,000. So we basically gave her what she wanted without really giving her what she wanted, right? Yeah. So she came up with the solution.
She did. I loved it. It was a great call.
Yeah. She came up with the solution. And look at this thing. That's funny. The thumbs up. So that's a way to work with the prospect, to work with you, to be able to, make them feel like they're coming up with the solution instead of you. Hey, here's my offer here. Take it or leave it. Right. Like most people would do that, but I'm assuming you're asking that for a reason. Alice.
Me? Yes, but because naturally when she started saying, I just want my number. Sure. Like naturally, I would not say, but what is your, so okay, so what is your number? Exactly. But you purposely held back and kept creating rapport, keeping them on the phone, because as soon as you give her a number, you've given her the candy, she's done. Exactly. Unless you have built enough rapport to, hey, hold on, let me see.
I did miss something in that dialogue. So basically it was, so I went high, right? So I did 300, excuse me. So I went high and so I was like, let me guess, you're going to want to be close to 300,000, right? What I didn't do was, let me guess, if they come back and they're under 150, it's going to be a deal breaker for you. Now I got her anchored, right? Like that's the only thing that I missed, but it's okay. I kind of figured that 150 was going to be too low, which we saw it was. Yeah. But that's another strategy as well, because she's not giving the number and she's like, just give me your number. Yeah, I am. They're working on it, this and that. And you guys, when you're doing that, you got to come back on the line and say with excitement, hey, great news. The offer came back a lot higher than what I expected. I thought they were going to be really low, like really low. But guess what? They didn't. They came back and they're at, and here's the offer. And doing this, and the other thing too is, why do we do, Alice, can you talk about why we do odd number?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like to present an odd number to sellers because it makes them feel that you've actually calculated out all your expenses and taken the time to come to your absolute top dollar. So
exactly. So that's it. I mean, yeah, a great call. I think there was a lot of takeaways there. Yeah, I mean, almost a one call close, except for the Black Swan, which, again, I wanted to get really aggressive with her, but she, I didn't want to, I think we built really great rapport, right? And enough to create trust for her to trust to do business with us, because I could have easily said, hey, I'm really confused. Earlier you said there's no one that's going to have an input on the sale. What changed? Why now? Because you can do that. That's the reason why we we laced that question in the beginning is, hey, is there anyone else that's going to have an input on the sale of the property? Is there anyone else that's, that you need to confide with or consult with? And she said no, but I could have called her out on it. But I'm like, you know what? Let me back up just a little bit. So you really have to know when to go for the aggressive, when to go for the juggler, and then when to just let go of the rope a little bit. I did tie her down though, right? Like, when is the number, the offer good? We're just going to talk about potentially the process, right? That's in a nutshell. That's kind of what I set her up for. So as long as she's happy with the offer, with the number, I think that's great. So
I love it.
good stuff. I gotta run to the bathroom. Too much coffee and water and excitement. You want to answer some questions? Or I don't know if there's any questions.
It's been a good day on calls today. Not a ton of them, but the people that are answering or talking.
All right. All right. We still got, how many people got on here? 36. Let's see. Any more questions? Melissa, how you doing? Thank you for joining us. Appreciate you. Melissa's been a big supporter for a while. Trina said, go Max and Alice. Let's do it. Need to know where. Oh, I like this. Oh, there's some more questions. What kind of lead was she? You can call it's a PPC lead. That's what it was, Pete. Yeah, PPC lead. Very brave question, but I think she's referring back to the question of, what if she asked you, like, what do you think about Max? What would you say to her? It is a good positioning question, though, right? And here's, at the end of the day, the goal is really to coach her through that conversation. So, let's see. Need to know where her need is so you can satisfy her need. Yep, absolutely. Need to go over group. Yep, we will. Does novation mean renovation? No, Jolene. No, renovation doesn't mean renovation. Yeah. Novation is just another exit strategy when it comes to talking to sellers. Renovation means that you are repairing the repairs to the property. Yeah, the repairs that you're going to do to the property. So, yeah, there's a difference in that. So, we got some things we got to do, but let me see where we're at with this. I'm gonna look up Christine really quick. See if it went out already. So Gina attacked me on here. Oh, there we go. Okay, so the offer was sent. Let me see. Okay, cool. I don't see it on here though. Let me like. What's going on here? All right, I'm pulling up Christine's info and agreement. Let's see. All right, let's take a look. All right, I'm gonna text her right now. It's in her email box. So Precious said, "Hey, Miss Brooke, may you check and see if one of my leads went through? It didn't give me a confirmation y'all received it." We'll take a look at that right now. All right, let's see. All right, let's take a look. All right, I just texted Christine, so I don't know when she's going to be available. So we're going to wrap this up. We're hitting about 3 hours and 47 minutes. So we're going to wrap this up. I know Alice has got some deals that you guys submitted that she's going to get to. I know some deals came in under contract. But listen, if you want us to call, you guys saw what we could do. You guys see that what we're doing here. One contract sent today, and then we got another offer accepted. We're going to walk through the agreement on Saturday. So if you want to send us your leads, send us thedeals.com. Go to sendusthedeals.com. Not only your leads, but make sure that you are also, if you got deals that you want us to move for you, you got deals that you want us to, push out to our buyers, Alice can help out with that. Just make sure you watch the video so you can follow the instructions, of how to submit them, what information we're looking for. The leads we're going to call live here. Those are going to, be the first ones that we call during the session. And potentially one of your leads could be the ones that go under contract, right? That's what we're trying to do here. Make sure that, again, you're watching the videos, you're watching, the how to actually, what to submit, and what needs to be submitted. So that way we have a higher probability of turning that into a deal, right? You don't have to have report build. You don't need to go really far in your analyzation. Just got to have some type of contact with the seller before you submit it to us. So, listen, it's been great, Alice. Thank you for helping. Awesome. I really appreciate it. Honestly, again, for those of you that stayed with us this whole time, for those of you that joined us, what I want to do is make sure that you are sharing this live with someone. Listen, we don't we're not charging for this. We're not making you jump through hoops and loops of registering through links and having to do all this stuff. And what we want to do is we want you to share this, right? And also tag us on tag me on your stories, right? Like if you follow me on IG, make sure you tag me and say, hey, I was on Max's live calls. I definitely got a lot of value out of it. And so that way, I can see that who's watching and who's not. There's my Instagram handle there. Tag me on there, and that way, hey, I was on. Do you want to put your Instagram handle out there?
Oh, it is my name. It's Allison Adams.
Oh, there we go. So here, let's see. At Alice Zen. Just Adams, right?
Adams, yep.
Boom, there it is. So if you guys want to follow Alice, there's her handle. Follow her. If you got anything that you want to send to her or talk to her about, ask her any questions. Likewise, same to me. If you want to, if you don't follow me on IG, follow me on IG, and then go watch the replay. Make sure that you tag us. Make sure that you're giving a shout out. Super excited for tomorrow. So don't miss tomorrow. Tomorrow we have another full day of calls and a full day of follow-ups and everything as we get ready. So Alice, anything you want to leave the people with before we sign off?
Send us some leads. Go to work and send us some leads for tomorrow.
Yeah, go take action and make sure that you are sending us leads. Go to sendusthedeals.com, sendusthedeals.com, so that way we can call your leads live. So all right, everyone, we appreciate you and thank you for joining us. Great day today. We're looking forward till tomorrow. Later.